Hi, Sky. How's the audio? I'm doing good, a little hungry. You're quiet as always. I'm trying. I don't know what to do. How do I. I'm gonna have to Google, probably, because I have no clue what to do. Okay. Well, I'm gonna start. If anyone joins, they join.
Quite the stoic statue, isn't she? I can only dream of being as cold and indifferent as Florafella.
You think she's hiding something?
Perhaps. She has some strange habits. I heard she barely sleeps, an hour here or there, sporadically. Spends the rest of her time staring up at the sky.
And you're quiet as hell? Okay, wait. Let me change something. Is this better? Wait. So much better, yes? Really? Okay, well. Choco Shotos, Heineck. Reveal toes. Only tier 3 subs get those, sorry. Is it better now? Okay, good. I guess I had the gain too high? Or too low, whatever the correct term will be.
Did you get anything useful out of him?
Not sure. What about you?
Nothing worth committing to paper.
I think he knows more than he lets on.
Probably. But talking with him is so tedious.
Why does everyone hate Felix? Oh my god. Everyone is like shit talking him. Jesus Christ. This is a family stream for now. You cannot handle the truth, duck.
Considerably intelligent, and her powers of observation are enviable. But she has no ambition, no focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely.
Oh yeah, they're all like 19 years old, right? They ain't family friendly when Chuck is like, listen here, you little shit.
Freya Fellow is of great interest to me. I perceived her to be the most intelligent individual here at Tangle Tower. Within a day, she had identified for whom I was working and for what I was searching. I didn't know how she did it. I was impressed. I regret that I did not question her more thoroughly when I had the opportunity.
You couldn't have known she was about to be killed, though.
I have only myself to blame for failing to perceive the signs.
What signs?
I do not wish to do your job for you, Detective.
Down with the food pyramid. I remember growing up, the food pyramid was in every like doctor's office and stuff, and oh, they looked so. The food on the poster looked so delicious. And I really wanted to follow it.
Respectable astronomer, keeps himself to himself. What?
We're just surprised.
That was the most polite you've been about anyone.
Choco supports the idea of eating meat and veg, and that sugar should be treated as a common enemy. No, I like sugar, just not too much. Weren't the same. I know, right? Like every food pyramid showed something else, like what was more important and stuff.
I find her rather embarrassing. Little more than a spoiled child.
Penny must be at least 25.
27. Just makes it worse.
Shows the food pyramid you like? I mean, I'm nowhere near. Wait, let me see, actually. I mean, there's. I like this one, art-wise. Wait, give me a second. How do I do this without messing it up? Well, ignore this for a second. Display. Like this, maybe? This looks nice. This also looks nice. I just like food pyramids with good drawings, okay? That is what I like. Anyway. Back to the game. Sugar is everywhere, Choco? Oh god. I bet Choco likes Penny. Which one is... Yes! You're right, Nick. I do like Penny. Penny so far is my favorite. Penny and Fifi. More like Fifi? Yeah. Again, I like Fifi and Penny.
Poppy has remarkable musical talent. She could be famous, wealthy even, if she wanted to.
She'd probably have to leave Tangle Tower first.
Quite. 314 cases solved. 314.
Oh, damn. Oh, Choco looks like... I read... I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on. I can't read. It's about how you look like and not who you look like. She has a hard time reading, yes. Who I look like? I think out of all of them, I do look more like Freya, maybe? Yeah, I do look like Freya. Just with, like, a lot darker hair.
Tangle Tower. No idea why they insist on calling it that. It's not even a tower. It's little more than a pair of turrets stuck on either side of a mansion.
Have you searched the whole place?
Hi, Leslie. Leslie, look, we're looking at Hawkshore again.
He wants to know if you found any secret rooms.
Huh. I'm afraid the residents of Tangle Tower are far too ordinary for anything like that. I was disappointed too.
You have a long neck. She do be having a long neck though. Damn. Everyone here has long necks except her. She does not have a neck at all.
You truly consider this a case file?
What's wrong with it?
No organization, no system.
That's my style. I like seeing everything laid out at once. Yeah, it helps me think.
How quaint.
Neck power,
Where'd you dig that up?
This is like a Candace.
It was underwater.
Someone trying to conceal evidence, perhaps? Have you deciphered the meaning of those 4 symbols on the harp?
We're working on it.
That's a no, then. Conveniently left anonymous. It's useless until you can prove to whom it concerns. Can you do that?
No.
No.
Fifi is a beast. Maybe. I don't know actually. Like in the picture...
A photograph of Freya. Could be important.
Could be important.
The paint is still wet.
Yeah, well, we know Freya was in the middle of painting when she was killed.
Do you know that? How? Because you were told? Paints?
Yep.
Paints.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to stay away from sugar.
Makes quite an
She's a
impression, doesn't it?
microbiologist, I think.
Although I can't imagine why she painted Flora wielding a knife.
You didn't see a knife anywhere in Flora's room, did you?
I did not. I conclude whatever stabbed Freya must have been brought into the room from outside. Unless, of course, it was the painting itself.
Surely you don't believe in that kind of thing.
A detective's job is to examine every avenue of thinking.
I like her.
A
She's so
somewhat
cool.
cumbersome device, and an altogether inefficient way to listen to music.
What kind of music do you like, Hawkshaw?
I like anything.
What a cop-out.
I believe that was in Flora's room yesterday, but it was not cracked when I saw it last. You got it open. I'm impressed. I managed it myself yesterday. I thought Flora might be hiding something in there.
It was empty yesterday, too.
It was. Perhaps it's always been empty. I'd tell him not to quit his day job, but he hasn't got one, has he?
Oh shit. Everyone's so mean to him.
These figurines remind me of a case I once solved involving a possessed doll. Turned out to be a bit of a smokescreen, as these things often do.
Your life sounds fun. Grimoire, why don't we ever have fun adventures like that?
Are we not having a fun adventure right at this very moment?
I admit, it's powerful. Freya was a talented young woman.
Someone even liked it enough to take a photo of it.
Now, we don't know why they took the photograph, do we? Perhaps they just wanted it for reference. A book from the library. One of hundreds, no doubt. What makes this one special?
It's about birds.
Yes, I see that. A diary. Have you read it?
Not yet. It's locked.
I think you are
And
pretty. Love you too.
haven't attempted to force it open?
That would be cheating.
Does Flora still own that bird? Do you know?
Don't think so. The drawings are from a few years ago.
I see. Some breed of amphibious humanoid. Potentially bipedal. Although none of the statues show the creature's feet.
I guess we'll never know.
Is that a clue?
Dunno. It was important enough to be framed, though.
I framed my law degree. Doesn't make it a clue.
Same? Yeah?
I love how he's not exactly jealous, but like he's not on the same level as Hawkshaw. Like she has a law degree and everything, and he's like, yeah, same.
Who's that?
Not sure. It doesn't really look like anyone we've met so far.
Strange.
I mean, we already know that this is Penny. Not Penny. Poppy.
3 birds, 1 cage. What makes them worth keeping cooped up, I wonder? Would they not be happier flying free?
But then they might fly away from Tangle Tower entirely.
I wonder if they would. Where did you find this?
Do you have any theories about where this might have been?
Or who might have had it.
I have several theories, but they are my theories, and I'm not going to share them. And you consider that important evidence, do you?
This belongs to you, Hawkshaw?
Correct.
And, what is it?
It's my handheld microscope for up-close investigation work.
What do you magnify with it?
Trace particles, dust, oils, clothing fibers.
Have you used it here at Tangle Tower?
I have. I used it to examine the greenhouse only 2 days ago.
What were you looking for?
That is between myself and my client.
Hi, Meg. That is poo poo, but I'm trying to watch Leslie. I hope your internet gets better.
These people really are ridiculous, aren't they?
Did we ask everything? Okay. Do we have anything else to ask her? No.
It's Tangle Tower. Or at least it's the mansion at the base of Tangle Tower. Bushes. A giant glowing gemstone full of plants.
AKA a greenhouse.
Oh, holy shit.
A little chart of, actually, I have no idea what it's about.
Alpha, beta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Kinda reminds me of a periodic table.
What do you make of it?
Not a whole lot.
This one's in a little pot.
Okay, that is definitely not edible.
It looks like a gemstone, don't you think?
Potted fruit. A potted fruit with a hard gemstone-like skin. The soil in the pot is an unusual blue color. Hi, Buddha. Have fun with writing
That's
your
a
character.
handsome beetle. Looks like he might have magic powers.
Magic powers, you say?
Tools.
Oh,
Used by a gardener. For gardening.
thank you.
It's bigger in here than I thought it would be. It's bigger in here than I thought it would be. Is that fruit? In the
Too
shape?
shiny to be fruit. I think it's glowing a little too.
Safe to eat, do you think?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, let's just talk to him.
Sally, don't move. We're being watched.
Love you too, Buddha.
Yeah, I see him. He's a little too big to hide in the bushes. Is anyone going to say anything? Or shall we just stand around staring at each other?
Right, sorry.
Sorry.
That's better. I'm Sally. And the guy hiding behind me is Detective Grimoire. Who are you?
Fitzfellow, the gardener.
Mm-hmm. And why are you so tall?
I don't know.
Is that a question you have to ask when you solve murders? Why are you so tall?
You work here as the gardener.
I don't get paid to do it. It's just my area of interest.
What's the deal with the plants? They're all kinda weird.
Right.
Damn.
Did you see the lake?
That giant green and purple lake surrounding the entire house? Yeah, I clocked it.
The color is just a byproduct.
Of what? Poison?
It's not poisonous. Not to you.
What's this got to do with the plants?
The water controls all life, just like anywhere else on the planet. Clouds form, rain falls. The water grows the plants, animals eat the plants. Anything you've perceived as an irregularity is simply a result of this hydrological cycle.
Could you say that again, but like condense it as if you were talking to a slightly stupid person?
Our lake water causes the unpredictable alteration of DNA, sometimes.
Alteration? Like mutation?
That'd be the official term. For us, it's normal. Just nature.
And you're the local expert on all this stuff?
No, I'm just the gardener. I was in my greenhouse, watering and weeding.
Sounds exciting.
Was anyone else around?
Not at first. Penelope came in a little later. She likes looking at the flowers, I think.
Did you speak to each other?
A little, not too much. We both left the greenhouse in the early afternoon. I went up to my room. Then I came back outside to weed the main gardens. Didn't see anyone else. After that, I went up to the garden outside my room.
And?
Let me guess. Watering and weeding.
Right.
Did anything happen to you yesterday, Fitz?
I see why Penny likes Fitz. I know, right? I know why she always comes back from all her traveling, even though she really doesn't want to. Just for him.
I was up in the rooftop garden. It was quiet. And then, it wasn't. I can't describe it. Could have been a scream, but it didn't sound human. We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
We?
Poppy was with me. Did I not mention that? Flora's room was locked. That's normal. She usually locks it from the inside. I knocked on the door and shouted. Nobody responded. We became concerned.
You kicked the door down?
I did. Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back. Flora was there too, but I barely noticed her at first. Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too. Penelope arrived shortly after that, with Felix in tow. I thought that was odd. You don't normally see the two of them together. Felix took charge. There was nothing else I could do to help. I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything. I found her pacing back and forth around the stone square. When I approached her, she snapped at me. I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
You know what the funny thing is? Everyone remembers Flora standing. He is at the moment the only one who remembers her like also sitting on the floor. And we know that Pointer's what's the thing called? Telescope showed us that he saw that she was also sitting or like lying on the floor or whatever. That's why he rushed over. So at the moment only Pointer and Fitz know that Flora was also on the floor, so to speak.
I like Flora. I hope she's all right.
Do you think she had anything to do with the murder?
There's no way. She wouldn't willingly cause any additional suffering for anyone. Felix is a contradiction. His loyalties are placed firmly within the realm of materialism, money, property. But his ego relies on an entirely fraudulent self-image, don't you think?
I was just about to say the same thing.
How is Fitz related to everyone here? He's also a fellow like them, but I gotta look up the family tree later.
Fifi doesn't like me.
What did you do?
I'm not sure. If you find out, maybe you can let me know.
Oh. Fifi doesn't like Fitz? Wait, could it be because Fitz and Poppy are spending so much time together? So she thinks that Fitz is cheating on Penny? Is that what's going on? Fitz is beefy and smart, me like.
She questioned me.
About what?
My work, the plants, bit of everything.
Did she search the greenhouse?
No, she didn't.
You sure? Maybe she did it when you weren't in there.
No, she hasn't touched it.
How can you tell?
Trust me, I can tell.
Wait, didn't she say that she searched his greenhouse though? So she lied? Hi, Albrexia.
Always
Sally has hips.
to me. She'd come into the greenhouse when I was working. Sometimes by herself, sometimes with Poppy. I think they were just bored at first. Eventually, they started asking questions.
About what?
Poppy wanted to learn about flowers. Freya, she used to ask me about the insects.
Insects?
One of my jobs is to protect plants from things that might eat them. Freya brought me this little glass box, leaves and twigs inside. She'd say, put all the troublemakers in there. Every day I'd put a handful of beetles and other things in the box. Then she'd come along and take it away. I didn't really understand her, but she was always kind.
So she likes bugs. He lost a golden bug and thought that Freya took it? Well,
Have you met this guy, Fitz? Shifty eyes, doesn't say a lot. Totally suspicious, if you ask me.
That's me.
Yeah, it was a joke. I was joking.
Oh, I see.
I imagine you don't visit the astronomy tower too often, do you?
No, but I still see Pointer, sometimes. He's always curious about what I'm growing in the greenhouse. Asks me about the birds, too, and insects. He's pretty clued up on his evolutionary biology.
I didn't think there was much overlap between astronomy and biology.
Maybe a golden beetle. I know, right? I think it's the golden beetle that they're all talking about. I totally love a game that was just Sally. Actually, this is like a second part of them. There is a game with Sally and Grimoire from this game studio. But I have never looked it up or like played or anything, so I do not know.
Penelope is my fiancée.
Don't take this the wrong way, but Penny doesn't really strike me as your type.
She's not who she pretends to be. People think she's... well, they make assumptions.
And how's the relationship doing recently?
Good. It's good.
Oh, he was hesitating, and she was like, "Oh, I love him, I love him."
Poppy and I are friends.
Oh, I can buy that. Dark clothes, blue hair, an average of 3 words per sentence. Oh, you're like 2 peas in a pod.
She's very kind, and she has an interest in plants. Unusual flowers, mostly. I've been teaching her.
Right.
Is something wrong?
So is everyone now thinking that they are cheating on her? Oh my god. I wanna hold Fitz and Hawkshaw's hand. Same. Is that the game to play after this one then? I don't know, because that game is a lot older than this one. So I think it's a game that you should have played before then, because apparently there are a lot of not Easter eggs, references in this game to the first one, but I've never played the first one, so. He does seem to love Penny though. He does, yeah. But he also doesn't seem like the type of guy that would like cheat.
Nice painting. Gives you a pretty good idea of the layout.
The lake looks like it forms a perfect circle around the island.
It might seem strange to you, but nature is quite capable of producing perfectly geometric forms.
And those mountain cliff things around the outside?
We don't know much about them. They're unscalable. Not even Freya could have gone up there.
What's that?
This painting, it's speculative. There are no photographs from this angle as far as I know.
So Freya just made it up.
Let's call it an informed estimation.
Oh. Interesting. He does seem to love Penny though. He sounded so soft about her. I know, it's so cute. But he's being sus with Poppy. He is.
Who gave you that information?
Well...
We don't actually know who it was. We were contacted anonymously.
Oh.
I see. And what happens if the person who contacted you turns out to be the murderer?
I never thought about that.
Honestly, that would be kind of fun. Like a twist, you know?
Oh yeah, we never found, like, we never got told who actually, like, appointed us as the detective. We literally just got to the island and the game started. Half of the characters in this game seem sus as fuck. They do. So somebody did inform her about the layout from the point of view. Either that or she actually did go up herself.
That looks like it might belong to Poppy. It's of no interest to me, but I overheard Poppy and Freya talking about it once.
What were they saying?
They were arguing about something, but I can't remember the details.
Interesting.
How odd. There's something off about this.
What is it?
Why don't you take another look at Flora's room?
You think we missed a clue up there?
Not exactly.
Okay, so after this we go to Flora's room, question mark?
Paints are different to flowers.
I'd say so, yeah.
At any time, flowers can bloom with perfect, faultless colors. Red, blue, white. With paint, once you've tainted a color by mixing it with others, not even the most skilled painter can return it to its pure form.
Okay, calm down there.
What do you think that is in Flora's hand?
I don't know. It does look like a knife, but Flora wasn't holding anything at all when I saw her, after the murder. But there's something bothering me. Something else.
What?
When we went into Flora's room, she wasn't standing in this position.
Well, she probably would have moved around a little bit by then.
She wasn't standing at all. She was kneeling on the floor. That belongs to Poppy.
So why is it up in Flora's tower?
I'm not sure. That looks like it might belong to Poppy. It's an egg with feet.
It was locked, but we opened it. But it was empty.
Fun story. Felix made that? Huh. That's quite sweet, really. Freya's best work, in my opinion. Although, the photo doesn't carry the same energy as the real thing.
What do you think it's a painting of?
What do you mean?
Like, what's the subject matter? What's that big red thing?
Oh, I don't think it's that kind of painting.
Think it's going to be one of the characters who isn't even slightly sus? Who knows? I don't know. His voice is so nice. Tainted? I don't know, it's pretty easy to return brown back to brown if you accidentally mix another color. Anorexia. Why is Poppy's shit there? I think she gave the gramophone to Freya or Flora, I don't remember. The cassette tape was a gift to Freya, and this was Freya's. So a lot of her stuff is there because she gave it away. It's Hawkshaw. I sure hope not. I like her.
It's Fifi and Freya.
Don't you think Poppy should be in the photo too?
Maybe, maybe not. She doesn't really like crowds.
2 people isn't a crowd.
Right, but if she was in the photo, then it'd be 3.
Checkmate.
Penelope knows about birds. You should ask her instead.
Actually, I wanted to ask you about something. There's a plant mentioned on this page, see? Do you have any? In the greenhouse?
No, I don't grow that anymore. I've tried, in the past. It's incredibly difficult, even for me. I could never get it to live more than a couple of weeks.
It's Hawkshaw. Oh, the painting you mean. Not sure she's the murderer. I thought you were talking about the murderer. Yeah, the painting really does look like her. And she, like, Freya also said that she had, like, nightmares, and that's why she drew this. So maybe she was, like, scared of Hawkshaw? Maybe because she did steal the beetle from this guy?
Looks like someone doesn't want you to read that book.
But it's just
That's
my
the main
theories.
thing making me want to read it.
Did Freya draw these?
Yeah. There's a note in the back too.
She was even closer to Flora than I realized. What's with the broken glass? Poppy's piano music. I remember when she started learning. She's improved a lot since then.
Yeah, that's generally how it works.
Right. Of course.
Any idea who this is?
No idea.
I mean, we already know, but...
Penelope's 3 favorite birds. She's very protective over them.
Are they, like, her pets? Do they have names?
Oh, they have names. Penelope loves to name things.
Do you remember what she named them?
I do not.
Well, at least he's honest.
I've seen beetles with brightly colored shells, metallic shells even. They're relatively common, especially around here. There's a difference between that and actual gold.
It can't be actual gold. Gold is just inside the earth or whatever. You can't make it. That's called alchemy. It was a whole thing.
A flower.
Yeah, it's a flower. We found it in Penny's room.
Okay.
Mean anything to you?
Why would it?
Come on.
I don't really go into Penny's room or anywhere in Pointer Tower. I just don't have a reason to.
I mean, your fiancé lives there. Shouldn't you go to the tower?
This is a good example of how things work. I mix that soil here in the greenhouse. It's made with water from the lake.
And it makes the fruit grow all shiny and gem-stony.
Sometimes. You never really know what's going to happen.
And what do you do with this shiny, inedible fruit?
You look at it.
Sell it. Make millions.
You ever seen this before, Fitz?
No, but I don't normally go into Fifi's room.
That's not where we found it.
Oh, I just thought it looks like it belongs to her. Those petals, they,
What?
they're red.
Seems like he recognized the flower this is from.
Fitz's room is unlocked. It's up in the fellow tower.
This could be interesting.
Let's go.
That's all the statements.
Let's go over them all.
Later.
Let's go over what we know about the crime scene.
Later. First, let's do this.
An empty glass and an empty plate.
Sounds like relationship is getting rough. Yeah. He's not saying something. He's
Looking
getting.
at it
He's
is
being
making me wanna
suspicious.
cry.
Why?
I don't know.
His room looks so empty.
It's a little handmade card. Someone's drawn a heart on the front. Inside it says, "To Fitz, from PP."
Oh shit! It could be from Penelope, or from Poppy. Oof.
That poor plant.
Looks pretty healthy to me.
Healthy, but sad. I think it would rather be outside.
Doesn't look soft.
Hello.
Not hidden very well, is it?
Doesn't need to be. It's locked. It's a combination lock. Sort of.
Sort of. Let's. Oh. This music reminds me of Detective Layton. Okay, so raindrop. No. Okay, it's this one. Yeah, okay, it's so the second one. Is it this one? Yeah, because it's like that. Okay. Okay. And then we have like this. And then, I mean, what else is there? Is there anything else? Oh, I guess this. This?
There we go.
Okay. What is you doing? You live like this? I know, Rim. It's so sad. It's
Anything
nothing.
in there?
Yeah, it's wrapped in a cloth. Hold on. Huh. That's kind of ominous.
A metal gardening trowel with a decorative pattern. It has a decorative pattern engraved onto it and letters either side of a heart. PPFF. They're really trying to make it seem as if he's cheating. Like really, really badly.
It's locked, but it leads outside.
I thought we were halfway up a tower.
We are.
What's that thing by the handle?
Oh, wasn't it from yesterday? From the other room? Wait. I think I remember. It was like... Okay, wait, we gotta remember it for the other one. It's like... just this. The other one was... Was it this? 1, 2, 3, okay.
It made a noise.
I guess that was right.
Oh, was it?
And the door's still locked.
I still feel like we made some sort of progress.
Alright, let's go to this room, because I think she also had a lock.
A big glass door.
Why are you hiding shit, Fitz, you handsome beefy man?
It's out into a garden. Somehow.
There's a little mechanism by the handle.
Ah, hell yeah, I was remembering correctly. Oh fuck, how was the... Was it like this?
Something happened.
Okay.
That must be it.
They're definitely cheating.
Finally, it's open.
That, yeah.
Whatever's on the other side better be worth it.
Wait, before we go out, is this
A
the red
single
rose?
Red rose. How very traditional.
Yeah, weird.
Okay, so we can't click on it. Okay, never mind.
It's open.
Let's go outside. Oh my god, this is so pretty.
Giant stone frog. Love it.
Same.
Yeah, he's got his tongue out like he's catching snowflakes.
Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
The feathers were mostly found resting on the. Yeah, none of them are from the ink dip bird. Oh, are we looking for that feather? Is that what's going on?
It's a rose bush, growing on a little patch of bluish soil. Apart from a couple of loose petals on one side, the whole thing looks very well cared for.
The roses are bright red, too.
Now, aren't roses normally that color?
Exactly.
Okay. Puppy, you man-stealing bitch. I feel like they want us to think they're cheating, but they're actually not. It's like a big misunderstanding. But dude, if they are cheating, Jesus Christ, that is mean. Hi, this. Headphones? Oh yeah,
It's
headphones.
another little statue, doing a really bad job of hiding in the bushes.
He's playing a lute this time.
He's also wearing headphones.
Well, they're not part of the statue. And they're not headphones. They're earmuffs.
Earmuffs. A slightly weathered statue of a strange creature holding a lute. A pair of earmuffs have been placed on the head of the statue. Meh. A mosquito is after me. Okay. I got an achievement called a swamp monster ?
Ah, a little water feature.
It's making me sleepy.
Wonder how it's hooked up. A little pond.
It looks really, really deep for some reason. See those metal bars around the edges too?
Oh yeah. What are you supposed to for?
Nothing anymore. Looks like somebody broke them and then never bothered to fix it.
Oh good. A bridge. I'm glad to know there's a way to get across that tiny, tiny pond.
Not all bridges are about getting across stuff.
What's the did?
The door into Poppy's room.
So only Poppy and Fitz can get into the garden?
Ah, I guess so.
Oh my god, if they are cheating, dude.
That's one big dragonfly.
Or one very small dragon.
Okay. So. Oh, we can also go to that secret room we found yesterday. Isn't that pond super deep? I think it is. Yeah, they said it is. Maybe it's connected to this thing? Like, it goes down to that? The position would fit. Yeah. Do you guys want to go to the secret room? Wait, before you guys decide, I want to check something real quick.
What is that?
I think it's a family tree.
How is Fitz related to them? Where's Fitz? So they're siblings. So they're cousins. He married 2 people. Okay, he's... Okay, not mind. Trying to pin things on Poppy because she's a homewrecker. You know what, let's go do this first. Oh, what is this?
This wasn't here before.
What is it?
It's a little wooden toy. Looks kind of like a crab.
There's a note stuck to the back.
What does it say? Grimoire?
This is my new friend. He likes music. Simple melodies will move his soul. Best of luck, you two, Freya. What the fuck? Isn't she dead?
What do you think? Is it really from her?
How can it be?
Why don't we check the handwriting with Freya's diary?
Good idea. Hold on.
Well,
It's a perfect match.
well, it's confirmed. We have a ghost helping us.
Let's keep this to ourselves for now.
What about the little wooden toy thingy?
Maybe we can put it to some kind of use.
Dun 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 dun. Jesus Christ. Honestly, if they're gonna involve ghosts in this now, unfinished business. Ooh. Okay. Suspects.
That's all the statements collected. Let's run through them all to see if anything doesn't add up.
To see if anyone's been lying.
That too.
Fitz and I were up in the Moonlight Garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds.
We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. So I made Fitz kick down the door.
Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back.
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared.
I didn't know what to do. So I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room.
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it, until the someone began shouting at me.
Eventually, she let me in.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower.
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs.
I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her.
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did.
A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya.
Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting.
She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything.
An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
That's disappointing.
What is?
All the statements line up with each other.
They don't just line up. Some of them even seem to specifically confirm each other.
Interesting. Okay, wait, what did you guys write? Red. Blah, blah. Sounds like a mess of a family. It really does. You gotta play music to it. Yeah, you're right. Maybe we need to, because it did say that it likes music. Is Freya alive or a ghost? Dude, it would be such a plot twist if she was still alive. What if actually it was Poppy who was murdered because Fritz cheating and then Freya swapped Poppy? Damn. The punch in the face was the best thing ever, honestly. Especially in Fifi's voice. Penelope is so pretty. I like her. If Fitz cheating, I'm throwing hands no matter how handsome he is. Yeah.
We know a little more about the crime scene now. So, what do you think? Was Freya stabbed by her own painting?
Was replaced by... Was used to paint. Was used to paint. Was used to hide. I think the painted dip feather was used to hide. Used to hide. Wait. To prove the existence of magic, yes. To hide the evidence was used to to match a real knife. Was designed to match to hide the evidence?
The painted ink dip feather was designed to match a real knife to hide the evidence.
No. Blood from the paint pot was designed to match paint from the paint pot to hide the evidence.
Blood from the paint pot was designed to match paint from the paint pot to hide the evidence. That's not right.
So it could distract. Why would they put this in? To distract her. The ornate trowel.
Blood from the paint pot. That's not right either.
So that's wrong. To distract her.
Blood from the paint pot. That's not right either.
Okay, Okay. Let's think. Perhaps Freya painted the blood onto the painting herself. Okay. Blood from the paint pot was used to paint over the painted ink dip feather to resemble it.
Blood from the paint pot was used to paint over the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife. Almost. Maybe just change one thing.
Is it paint? Is that...
Paint from the paint pot was used to paint over the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife. That's not right either.
Okay, so I was correct with the blood thing. Was used to paint the red...
Blood from the paint pot was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife.
I think you're right. Can't decide if I'm disappointed or relieved.
I have a question. Why?
Either it's a very strange coincidence, or somebody set it up.
Somebody deliberately put blood in the paint pot and hid that feather after the crime. Why? To distract us?
Possibly.
Well, it worked.
Possibly.
Flora's the only person who could have hidden the feather, unless someone took it from her.
Let's go over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time. It stayed locked until Fitz kicked it down. Normally, it can only be opened from the inside. Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope, but he did see Flora lying by the window.
So whatever got Freya got Flora too?
Except Flora survived. She didn't get a stab wound like Freya did.
Hold on. If there was no knife, then what did stab Freya?
It could be anything. It might not even be important.
How is it not important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what, and more interested in the how.
The angle of Freya's wound suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle. That is, from directly in front of her. But she was standing right up by the canvas.
Somehow, Freya ended up lying on her back, still perfectly in line with a painting.
Maybe something went through it.
Through the painting? Wouldn't that leave a hole?
Okay, well, how about this? How do we know Freya was stabbed before she fell over? Maybe her being stabbed and her falling over are completely unrelated.
Oh. So she was lying and then something dropped from the top, That's how it would explain it being exactly at a perfectly right angle. Wait, is that a new fact? I thought Fifi mentioned that, like, right at the start. What, Roxy, what are you talking about exactly? Wait, it's not whatever. He likes music, simple melodies remove his soul. Completely different art style. I have not this, but I know about it and I really wanna play it. But pretty old Flash games with graphics are kinda meh. Yeah. But I mean, if it's anything like this, story-wise, then I would definitely wanna play it. Wait. Oh, that's so cool. Wait, what else was there? What else do we need to find?
I'm still.
Should we take another look?
Bell, lips, bird, piano?
Let's come back later.
I know that the bells were in front of the door, if that's the bells they were talking about. Yes. Okay. Piano, I guess we have to go to Poppy?
I don't know what that is.
Weird, considering we found it hidden in your room.
Well, my room is full of junk. There's probably a bunch of stuff hidden in there. I don't mean like... Please stop talking to me.
We haven't talked. Okay.
Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
I can post a link to the oldest Flash and the other I know first Steam game in the series on Discord. Yes, please do. My leg has pins and needles. Oh no, Leslie. You gotta shake that leg so the blood goes flowing in there again. What is she hiding? What is she hiding?
I think it's kind of cruel to keep 3 birds in one cage like that.
Does Penny not let them out to fly?
Oh, she does. She must do. But I don't think they're allowed to go far. Penny can be a little protective. You get some weird insects around here. I've never seen one like that.
I'm not sure anyone has.
Freya might have. She used to keep beetles in a box in her room.
Why?
For fun, obviously.
Maybe we should check her room again later.
Never seen that one before. Was it in the greenhouse?
No, we found it in Penny's room.
Right.
What her fingers did to the piano did not fit what I heard. I mean, I don't think they're gonna sit down and animate for every single song, you know? Specific animation. What's so special about it? About the beetle? It's made, what was it? I think it was like 90% gold, like real gold. And it belonged to this guy, and he's like this really money-hungry guy. So he lost the beetle, so he's trying to find it again. And he thinks that Freya stole it, as far as I know. Massage your ankles and knees while stretching it so the blood flow gets better. Oh my god, that sounds good. Massage. I don't know how many songs there are. She's so salty for Penny. Piano was her. Okay, period. Wait, we're not done with her.
Those
No.
petals.
What about them?
It's nothing. They're just unusual.
So Fitz and Poppy seem to know where the petals are from.
Did you find that in Fifi's room?
No? Should we have?
No, it's just... It looks like something she'd use, don't you think? Oh, you've been to the greenhouse? What did you think?
Impressive, I guess. But kind of unsettling, with Fitz lurking in the shadows the whole time.
Yeah, he does that. Is that a gardening trowel?
Yeah, I think it belongs to Fitz.
Really? Huh, never seen him use it.
Oh, it's not his? Pointer owned the beetle. If I remember the story correctly, I think he found the beetle and then either he like researched it or he found an old book about it and it showed that it was like 90% gold. So he was like, oh damn, money, hell yeah. But then the beetle went missing. And like everyone knows that Freya was collecting bugs, so he was like, oh, she must have stolen my bug, or like gotten my bug. What's left?
I see a lot of birds up in the rooftop garden. They seem to really like it up there.
Why's that?
It's quiet.
Do you know where those earmuffs came from?
I put them there.
Why?
I found them lying around. I think they belong to Fitz. I put them on the statue so he'd see them. I thought they looked like headphones. Like he's in the recording studio with his guitar. No?
If they do belong to Fitz, he hasn't taken them back yet. When did you find them?
This morning.
Where?
I don't know, in a hallway. Can't remember exactly.
In a hallway? Let's talk to Fitz, you know what? Yeah. The petals, I mean. Oh yeah, we also need to check the petals. Remind me about that, Leslie. Let's ask him about this.
Yours, Fitz?
Yeah,
Do you use it?
I keep all my tools in the greenhouse.
That wasn't what she asked. We found these up in the rooftop garden. Do you know how long they've been there?
No, could have been a long time. We don't ever really clear up the rooftop garden.
Why not?
Nature is unruly. In truth, it prefers to be left alone. Wait, those are mine, the earmuffs. They went missing about a week ago.
What do you need earmuffs for?
I use them for gardening sometimes.
Why? You don't own a chainsaw, do you?
No, I wear them while I'm gardening, and it stops people from trying to talk to me.
That's genius.
In your bedroom, more like your scarlet letter horse. Damn, Leslie. Okay, so we wanted to check the petals. Was it in Penny's room? No, wait, it was in... We found it in Penny's room, right? So wait, let's ask Penny about it. Oh, wait.
Not a fan of insects myself. Whose research is this?
We were hoping you might know.
No, can't say I... Freya, perhaps. I know she was always very fond of grubby little things like this.
Noted.
Yes, it's my... my flower.
You don't like it?
I'm no good at caring for plants. I forget to water them. Birds are much easier. They're a lot more vocal when they get thirsty.
Do you at least like the look of the flower?
The look?
The colors? The shape of it?
Between you and me, I think it's a little vulgar. That's rather strange now, isn't it?
We found it in your room.
Just lying around, was it?
Nope. You'd hidden it, but we found it.
We do that.
Who's the her in the message? And what's the deal with the petals?
It's really none of your business.
I don't know what that is. Ooh, delightful. More of a gemstone than a fruit, isn't it?
Inedible, too, I think.
Yes. At one point, I thought Fitz might be growing them to sell them. But honestly, I think he just likes the way they look. Oh, did Fitz show you that?
Not exactly.
We found it hidden under his bed.
Ah, right. Oh, there used to be all kinds of birds here at Tangle Tower. The most fascinating breeds, all totally unique.
Used to be? There are birds all over the place.
Most of them are rather ordinary, I'm afraid.
What happened to the non-ordinary ones?
That is a very good question. Lovely.
It does look very suggestive. She knows about the cheating. Perhaps. I don't even know, can I? You know what? Let's go to this room. Ooh, the attic. What the fuck is this?
It's a statue of a wolf. Standing up straight, like a man.
You know, there's a name for that.
I know.
It's not quite as dusty as everything else up here. Also, it's not a statue. It's stuffed. What's in that little box? I bet it's bones. A skull, at least.
You know, maybe I won't open it.
No, open it. Secrets.
Someone painted out the window.
Do you think it was done recently?
No idea.
Oh.
Either way, it's pretty suspicious.
It is suspicious. What is this?
What is that?
Not sure. Some kind of reel?
Looks like it might attach to something.
Reel thingy. A brass reel with a screw on at the top. Coiled around the reel is a length of fine red rope.
Just dusty junk. Just dusty junk.
It's a jar. The head screws off.
Huh.
Nice.
Where's that light coming from?
Well, it's just daylight, I think. There's a decent gap between those floorboards.
Oh, shit.
Is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is?
Okay. I love how nobody said something. They just stared at each other. We're like, yep.
Nothing catching my interest.
I'm sorry, is this spooky attic boring you?
Kinda.
They said we should also check the crime scene. Like Fitz said that we missed something apparently here. Like here?
Freya's painting supplies.
Is blood not paint?
The outline of Freya Fellow. Looks like she fell onto her back. There's a single patch of blood, right in the middle. No real signs of a struggle.
The rope seems to be cut. Yeah.
That's weird.
What?
Her feet were right up by the canvas.
So?
So she was probably standing really close to the canvas when she fell.
Let's check the case file again.
It was discovered to be blood.
Supposedly, Freya was working on the painting when she was killed. Looks like she was still holding her paintbrush and palette when she fell.
Didn't even get a chance to clean her brush.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we already got that. Yeah, you're right there.
Attic's directly above us, right?
Yeah. There it is. The unfinished portrait of Flora Fellow.
So, what? Freya was killed halfway through painting it?
Looks that way.
I mean, Fitz said we should look here again.
A little pot plant, balanced on the window ledge.
It's the only plant in the entire room.
Wait, if that's the only one, where's the second one then? Here.
Half the room is a big open window.
I don't know if you can call it an open window. It's more like the sudden absence of wall.
When is she gonna talk?
Felix, your husband. He's one of our suspects, and he seems pretty suspicious if you ask me. So, if you want to stick up for him, now's your chance.
Nice try.
Wait a gosh darn second. Fitz said we should check something here, but
Freya's painting supplies.
I don't understand what we need to check up here. Let me just...
Now this is interesting. Where did you find it?
In the astronomy tower.
And yet, it does not concern the field of astronomy.
Nope.
In fact, you could even say that entomology is the exact opposite of astronomy.
Yeah, you could.
I would not say that, however.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No, it would be quite naive. To study science in any field is to study the connections between all matter in the universe, living or inanimate. I am scared of birds.
Why?
It is an irrational fear. I have no suitable explanation.
Oh.
It is a flower. It reminds me of something, but I cannot say what.
Flora seems fun. Yeah, she does not talk. You looked at something and it was very different to how it is now. Was it? I'm gonna check again. Can you ask her about the object? Yes, I'm asking her about it right now.
Who is this her to whom the message refers?
Well, I don't know exactly.
Then how can I meaningfully evaluate this object? Next. This belongs to Professor Pointer, does it not?
No, I don't think so.
Who else would own such a pointless little telescope?
It's a telescope.
Oh, yes. It has a telescopic lens. It could only be used for looking at things that are far away.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hawkshaw said that she uses it for very, very, very close things. Did she lie to us? I'm gonna have to ask her again.
Fruit here has a unique chemical makeup. It makes them completely
The said Flora lady, I mean. I will
unless
ask
you
her.
wish to cut it down and sell it as a precious stone.
It's not edible.
Depends
On what?
on the structural integrity of your teeth.
In some ways I love watching these sort of games, in some ways I hate watching them.
That blade.
I know exactly what you mean.
It's a troll for gardening.
It is. What a mess. Penelope should tidy up after herself.
These weren't dropped by Penny. They were dropped by birds, I think.
My argument stands.
What's wrong?
Earmuffs do not go on statues.
Because sometimes you notice something and it's like, I don't know, I want to say, but you don't want to spoil things. Oh my god, I have that with like puzzle streamers. When they're doing a puzzle and they're like, I already solved it, and they're like on their 100th try, and I'm like, please, please, not like that. Alexia, I will ask you later if I don't get forward with the story. If I'm stuck, I'll ask you what you noticed.
Is this yours, Fifi?
I do not recognize it. And besides, I would have no use for such a thing. Perhaps it could be used to hang wet laundry?
Was that a joke?
Yes.
There's something about Hawkshaw's handheld microscope.
Yes.
Something
Suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
Hell yeah, let's go. Why are you lying to us, ma'am? Why are you lying?
This little microscope thing? You said you used it to search the greenhouse.
And this would make perfect sense if you knew what my client had asked me to find. Of course, I still have no intention of disclosing that information.
You're such a tease, Hawkshaw. Don't worry, we already worked out what you're searching for.
Oh. You are searching for the golden beetle. But it went missing recently. He thinks it was stolen. That's why he employed her to find it for him.
You're not as hopeless as you look.
Thanks.
So, that's what you were looking for in the greenhouse? This beetle?
Surely even you can understand the logic of it. The greenhouse is home to a great many insects. The gardener could have easily kept the beetle hidden in there.
Well, Fitz said you questioned him, but didn't actually search the greenhouse.
He's not exactly the type to appreciate subtlety. He simply didn't notice that I was using my microscope.
What do you reckon, Grimoire?
I know for a fact she didn't use the microscope in the greenhouse.
It's not a microscope. Doesn't know how to use it. It's broken. Oh crap. Because it's not a microscope, so that's already like a fact. But does she not know it? And she doesn't know how to use it? Or it's broken and it doesn't work? 1 or 3? Which one should I go, guys? Because I don't think it's the second one, because she does seem rather smart. Well, one of them is definitely true. Yeah, so this is already like 100% a fact, because Fifi was like, oh, that's not a microscope. Should I go
It's
with that?
not a microscope at all.
All of a sudden, Detective Grimoire is some kind of expert on microscopes.
A handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses a telescopic lens. So
The handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses a telescopic lens, so Hawkshaw lied about it. I'm inclined to believe Fifi when it comes to stuff like this.
Hawkshaw, why did you lie about owning a telescope?
When you were a child, what did you aspire to become?
A detective? Naturally.
Emperor of the Galaxy?
I wanted to be an astronomer.
Really?
I harbored a desire to understand the secrets of the wider universe. A fool's errand, to be sure, but a seductive one. At 15, I decided instead to apply my intelligence to the world around me. And so, I became a detective. But the yearning for elusive knowledge is a powerful force. I tried to keep it with me.
Aw.
Sorry, but we're way off track. What's the deal with the little telescope?
A memento from my childhood. Little more than a toy.
Why did you bring it with you?
When I discovered that it was Professor Pointer who had hired me, I dared to consider it something of a planetary alignment. I had hoped he might sign my telescope. An extremely childish indulgence, I admit.
I never would have guessed.
Hold on. You're admitting you didn't use it in the greenhouse then?
Correct. As it happens, I have no need to search the greenhouse to such a degree. Professor Pointer doesn't consider the gardener a suspect in our theft investigation.
So, who is your suspect?
Things have become complicated. My lead suspect is your murder victim.
Ooh. Oh. Oh, that sucks, bro. Okay, so wait, let me go to our little box here. So I wanna smooch her. Same. She's so sweet, I love her. All of them, Orexia. Leslie's crushing on all of them. No, she's crushing on Hawkmoth, yes, and Fitz. But they are kinda hot, so you know. these two. Hell yeah. Okay, so we need lips, but I don't know where lips would be. Also, Fitz said we should ask.
I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
Me 3. Oh, sorry. I thought you said me too.
About what did he say that we should check again? Was it this?
Yours, Fitz?
Yeah,
Do you use it?
I keep all my tools in the greenhouse.
That wasn't what she asked.
Wait, those are mine, the earmuffs. They went missing about a week ago.
What do you need earmuffs for?
I use them for gardening sometimes.
Why? You don't own a chainsaw, do you?
No, I wear them while I'm gardening, and it stops people from trying to talk to me.
That's genius.
That is genius.
Those
Was it this one?
petals, They,
What?
they're red.
Red petals. Okay. I mean, red petals were in her room, wasn't it?
A single red. How very.
Yeah, weird.
We already solved it.
Oh, didn't we?
Gloomy.
But roomy.
I am lost. I do not know what to do. Okay, wait. They said we should look at here something. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Everything seems the same.
There it is. The unfinished.
So,
Looks
what?
that way.
Freya added the blood to the painting herself. Her red paint was swept out with blood. Flora is not holding a knife. She's holding a red and white. Wait, you said you want me to show... Wait, let me ask her
You
about all
spoke
these.
to your daughter Fifi. She's some kind of super intelligent scientist. You must be proud of her. We spoke to Hawkshaw. I assume she didn't get anything out of you either. I bet that really ticked her off.
Do you and Fitz have anything to do with each other? Other than your initials? You know the guy in the other tower? Weird astronomy professor guy?
Can you see him from your window? Can he see you?
We already know that he can see her.
What do you know about Penny?
I can't really imagine those two being friends, to be honest.
You never know. Do you and Poppy get along?
Nothing. Shocker. Grimore, what could you possibly be writing down?
Oh no, I gave up making notes ages ago. Now I'm just doodling in the margins.
Cute. I was gonna say I am the racist, but that makes it sound like people are thirsty over me. Close enough. Where's the other plant you read? I know, right? It's the other plant that's missing. Oh god, I have so many things to ask her. Wow. Well, let's go through them all fast. She does not speak, huh?
Did you ask Freya to paint this? Or was it her idea?
What is that you're holding in the painting, Flora? Some people have been saying it's a knife.
Well, this will be a lot of dots.
Is this your gramophone?
Meg! Flora is a bitch.
Do
Don't
know
you
why
dare
it's cracked?
say stuff like that about her. How dare you? Is she mute? No, she just refuses to talk, I guess. It's selective mutism, I think it's called. I'm not sure. She just prefers to be quiet.
Flora, This is your egg? Why do you keep it locked?
Is there supposed to be something in there?
Quick learn sign
Or is it
language.
always empty? What do you think of your husband's hobby?
Do you have any hobbies? You haven't seen this yet, have you?
It's a little model of you. Who were the other people next to you?
This is a photo of Fifi, isn't it? Your daughter? Have you seen this book before? Do you know who it belongs to?
I really thought she was gonna say something there. I like these drawings, Flora.
Is there a reason why you wanted us to see them? Do you know anything about these birds? Or birds in general? Do you know anything about this beetle?
This lady refuses to talk. Jesus Christ.
Do you recognize any of these feathers?
Wait, did we ask Penny about
Do
the
you know what this
feathers?
is?
Guess not.
Okay, so she's not talking and I'm lost. Did we ask her about the things? I don't even know.
Is that for sewing?
Maybe.
We have no idea.
Okay, Alexia, I'm stuck. You may speak. What is it you found? Or like think you found? But can we talk again to ourselves? Question mark. Talk, lady, talk. Okay, we have nothing. Ugh. Her head looks like a bird. Beard. I can't talk, Jesus Christ. Bird. Oh wait, we said we wanted to also check her room because of the beetle thing.
It's a little glass box.
I think it's a vivarium.
Come again?
See the leaf for keeping insects.
Okay, no, nothing new. The case file? Wait, let me look at the case file. Murder victim Freya. Died whilst painting a portrait. Flora's tower. Flora was present. She was posing for a portrait. Was found lying on her back with a single stab wound to her chest. No weapon was found at the scene, but the sub is holding a knife. The red color of the... Okay. Case file. Yeah, this... I don't understand what you mean exactly, Alexia. I'm looking at it, but... I do not know. We haven't talked to this guy in a while.
Now this is still in very good condition. Apart from the crack, of course.
What about those shards on the inside of the horn?
Looks like somebody broke a glass and was trying to conceal the evidence. Cunning.
In the case file, there's a big cap. What? A cap? What do you mean? Gap? Oh! You mean between the canvas and... You're right. Wait, let me... I'll talk to this guy later. Let me click on the feet.
The outline of Freya fell. There's a single patch of blood. No real sign.
That's weird.
What?
Her feet were right up by the canvas.
So?
So she was probably standing really close to the canvas when she fell.
Let's check the case file again.
Yeah, but she's not doing that here. Oh my god, why is it not working? Are you kidding me? Case file, okay. Oh, but she's standing very far away here.
The outline of Freya. There's a single patch. No.
That's weird.
What?
Her feet were right
So?
up, so she was probably.
Let's check the case file again.
How? Huh. I mean, you are right, that is weird, but I have no clue how to make them talk about it. Is that a clue or an artistic choice? I don't know. I'm just gonna go through all the items with everyone.
I've never been one for music. Why not ask Poppy instead?
I love his voice actor.
Oh dear.
The voice is so
Do you know who
smooth.
this is?
No, not smooth, like raspy,
Not
but I
a
like it.
clue.
The blood isn't there in the file.
Bizarre things, aren't they? Penelope seems rather attached to them.
Do you not feel sorry for them in that little cage?
Come now, I'm sure they could leave if they really wanted to. What's this all about? Some kind of rare jewel?
I'm pretty sure the research is about a real insect.
If it's made of gold, then it's made of gold. That looks like it might belong to Fitz. Goodness me! Why don't you ask Fiona about that one? Looks like her area of expertise.
For a second I forgot who Fiona was, and it's Fifi.
That looks like it might belong to Fitz. I've never seen that before. Looks valuable. Is that a clue? Really?
It might be. The statue was up in the rooftop garden.
Yes, it's been there a while. You can see the brass is slightly tarnished by the elements. But it's not too bad. Might be salvageable. What is it?
We don't know. We were really hoping you would.
My friends, shed your hope and let it fall free like sandbags from a hot air balloon.
That's the most depressing idiom I've ever heard.
Well, oh, but we haven't asked him about the people. What?
My daughter Fiona, our little burgeoning genius. You've met her?
We did. She's going by Fifi these days.
So I've heard. I asked her some weeks ago, what's wrong with your real name? She told me, get this, she wanted a name with an even number of syllables. She makes up the strangest things when she's under pressure.
What makes you think she made that up?
I happen to know the real reason she prefers Fifi over Fiona.
Oh yeah?
It's what Freya called her.
Aww. That's sad. The blood isn't there in the file. It isn't. I think it isn't. It's so weird. Well, I'm sorry, but I'll leave and play it myself now. Yes, do it. Support the game. It's really good. It's really fun. And first of all, voice acting is amazing. Animation is amazing. Soundtrack is amazing. Do it. Enjoy playing. I'll leave the stream running for the view count. Thank you. Have fun playing it. I hope I didn't spoil too much for you.
Quite the character, eh? A fellow member of the Order of the Crimson Cloak.
Is that a real thing?
No, I just meant because we both wear, you know, red capes of a sort.
Has she questioned you yet?
If you call that questioning, she seemed bored by everything I had to say. I heard on the grapevine, supposedly Hawkshaw is searching for some rare item, something called the Golden Beetle. Honestly, it's probably a bunch of sensationalist rubbish.
You reckon?
Quite sure. There is no treasure called the Golden Beetle.
How do you know?
Because I would have heard of it.
Well. Nah, you didn't find out anything while I was here. Okay, good. I want to join the Crimson Cloak, yes. Cloak Club. Same. You need a red cloak for that.
Fitz? I don't trust him. He's slippery. Never commits to anything. Brain like an onion.
An onion?
Did you two have an argument?
No.
Aren't they related?
But my daughter doesn't like him at all. And I trust Fiona's judgment entirely. She's a very vigilant young woman.
Oh yeah, we have to talk to Fifi why she hates him.
Percival Pointer. Good old... So, what do you reckon?
Alexia, no, don't say that.
Murderer?
I don't know, maybe. We still need...
That is not information we're willing to share at this time.
I'm just saying, keep an eye on him. Holds on to a lot of bitterness, does old Pointer. Just because he's always struggled to support his family. Slightly pathetic, really.
And how long have you known him?
Over 35 years.
Childhood
Damn.
friends? Rivals?
Don't know if I'd do him the honor of considering him my rival. Penelope seems to have really settled into a groove. She struggled a bit when she was younger. Always a little estranged.
How come?
Well, she was mostly raised by her uncle, and he really only makes time for his own daughter. Now, of course, she's bringing the two families together through her marriage. It's a nice gesture, heartfelt, but futile.
Oh, damn. Why are they all living together if they hate each other? What the hell?
Poppy's a good friend to my daughter. Always has been. I think they get on well because they're so different.
Different like how?
Poppy is, she's quite introspective, good with feelings. Fiona, not so much. Still, Poppy always seems to be sulking about something.
The heavy, heavy price of emotional intelligence.
I mean, well. Okay, so let's ask her why she hates Fitz so much. Did we ask her about these things? Okay.
Name, Hawkshaw. Age, unknown. Profession, private detective. Likes, quote, being left alone. Dislikes, quote, being constantly badgered by a weirdo nerd with a clipboard. Name, Fitzfellow. Age, 24. Profession, cryptobotanist. Likes soil, dislikes electric lights.
Hang on. Cryptobotanist? I thought he was just a gardener.
That may well be his preferred label. Mine, however, is more accurate.
Do you and Fitz not see eye to eye, Fifi?
We do not.
Well, I wouldn't have thought so. He's well over 6 foot and you've got to be just barely 5.
So what's your problem?
Oh my god, he did not go to her height.
Exactly 1 week ago, I witnessed him sneaking up Pointer Tower. He was making every effort to avoid detection.
So?
He was also carrying a knife.
Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. This kind of makes me want to watch Daria. Oh my god, I need to rewatch Daria. I haven't seen it in years. You're not a weirdo, Fifi. The deep hatred of Fitz leaks through the voice.
Name, Percival Pointer. Age, 57. Profession, none.
I'm pretty sure he's an astronomer.
Oh yes, of course. How uncharacteristically forgetful of me.
Damn.
Name, Penelope Pointer. Age, 27. Profession, ornithologist. Likes, birds. Dislikes, insects. Notes, Penelope is very beautiful. I have never had very much in common with her.
Oh, no, Fifi, you're pretty. Fifi! The trowel is the stabby thing? Yes, I think so
Name,
too.
Poppy Pointer. Age, 19. Profession, oh. Apparently Poppy has defaced my notes. Under profession, I had of course originally written pianist, but she has crossed that out and written the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
Well, she's funny.
There's something about the report of Fitz going up Pointer Tower. Something.
Suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
Hell yeah. What you doing up in Pointer Tower, Fitzy?
So, Fitz, I have a report that you were seen sneaking up Pointer Tower. Holding a knife.
That's not right. I don't go into Pointer Tower. I don't own a knife. And I don't sneak. Was it Fifi who told you this?
How did you know that?
A guess. She doesn't like me very much. But yeah, she was mistaken. Maybe she wasn't wearing her eye lens thing.
What do you think, Grimoire?
Fifi did see Fitz, but he was holding something else.
So, if it wasn't a knife, what was it?
What was it? It was this.
What about this?
Ah, that.
Is it yours?
It was a gift. It's sentimental. I have no reason to take it up Pointer Tower. I don't use it at all.
Fifi, like 110% of the comedy in this game, definitely. Sally likes puppy foolery. Is there a reason for Fitz to go up Pointer Tower with the trowel? Oh, I think I know what it is.
An ornate trowel is used by Fitz to look after a potted flower in Penny's room.
That flower.
Yes.
I've never seen it before.
We need a clue to compare to that flower. Something that proves its connection to Fitz.
Let's take a closer look at these.
The pot inside and Penny's room matches the pot and soil found in Fitz's
The pot
greenhouse.
and soil in Penny's room matches the pot and soil found in Fitz's greenhouse. Let me guess. Penny's flower was originally a gift from you, Fitz. There's no way it's a coincidence.
No way what's a coincidence.
The flower. It looks exactly like Penny.
It took me a long time to breed. I wanted the colors to be exactly right.
That's some gift.
Turns out Penny isn't particularly interested in looking after plants. So I go into her room every now and again. When she's not there, water the flower, change the soil. Just trying to keep it alive.
Is that like a metaphor for the relationship? That he puts all the effort in and she doesn't? Cause that's sad, bruh. That is sad. I'm honestly a little lost. I don't know what else to do.
The people here are surprisingly materialistic, considering how sheltered they are.
Materialistic?
Growing this fruit simply because it produces a gemstone-like material. For what possible purpose, other than financial gain?
You're speculating.
What would you do, Grimoire, if you could grow valuable stone straight from the earth?
That's not a relationship. Yeah, it does not
This
sound.
is a potential murder weapon, is it not?
I don't know. I don't think the murderer would leave the murder weapon just lying around.
I think you'd be surprised as to what people leave lying around. Do you also have a pile of leaves as a clue?
Well, not yet. Did you see some suspicious leaves?
Oh no.
One of 3 statues depicting the same creature. This one is wearing headphones. Perhaps they belong to someone who likes music.
They're not headphones. They're earmuffs. For blocking out sound.
Perhaps they belong to someone who doesn't like music. What is that?
I'm not sure. It looks like it attaches to something else.
Why don't you go back and double-check the area you found it? Maybe you'll find the rest of the something else.
I'm not so sure about that.
Did we ask Poppy about the earmuffs yet? Okay, I'll give 10% of the comedy to Hawkshaw. Did we... Wait, what did I want to ask her? Oh, she also has...
Where did you find this?
It was in the attic.
Oh, huh. I forgot we even had an attic. With surging tide, the waves are thrown.
I forgot she does poems.
Of all its own, but on its surface you may see, reflected in the waters be, the orchestrator, pale and still, pulling strings, enacting will.
Thanks for the advice, I think.
Softly does the flower grow, all in time, and time is slow. Rest a seed within the earth, but do not rush its gentle birth. Hour by hour, day by day, tune your heart to nature's way. Eavesdrop what the stars are saying, earthly tether, slowly fraying, floating, helpless from the worst of jealous hunger, selfish thirst. Take a moment, kneel and meet the flowers growing at your feet. Feathers flashing in the light from a sunbeam gleaming bright. I shield my eyes and turn my head, but all at once I've been misled. Light is shining on the stage, but through the railings of a cage.
A real thingy. It's a bit on the nose, pulling strings. Her talking in verses reminded me of Grunty from Banjo-Kazooie. Oh god. Wait, did we ask her about the earmuffs? I forgot.
Do you know where those earmuffs came from?
I put them there.
Why?
I found them lying around. I think they belong to Fitz. I put them on the statue so he'd see them. I thought they looked like headphones, like he's in the recording studio with his guitar. No?
If they do belong to Fitz, he hasn't taken them back yet. When did you find them?
This morning.
Where?
I don't know, in a hallway.
So she found it today in the morning, and he lost it like a week ago? Did we ask anyone else about these?
Can't say I've ever taken an interest in Uncle's astronomy. On occasion I've dared to visit him in his tower, but I always regret it. It's all just a little too abstract for me.
What do you mean?
Oh, did you know the sun is apparently over 400,000 miles wide? Okay, so what should I do with that information? How does it help me?
Don't look at me. You're the one who memorized it.
She's a most unsavory little... She was incredibly rude about my appearance.
Which part? The giant bird arms, or...
If I were her, I'd go easy on the judgment of others. I mean, look at her. She looks like the ghost of a scarecrow. I just wish Uncle Pointer would tell her to behave herself.
Professor Pointer? Why him?
Oh, it was Uncle that called her in. She's his responsibility. Did you not know that? Isn't he strapping?
He is big.
And so brooding.
Kinda sulky, yeah.
I can never tell what's going on in that beautiful head of his.
It just sounds like you don't know him very well.
I don't remember asking for your input.
I also haven't talked to this guy in a while.
What do you want me to say? He's the gardener.
He's a member of the family.
Yeah, but not the Pointer family.
What happened to his parents, do you know?
His father, Flint, is Felix's brother. Strange man. Don't think anybody knows what happened to him, but he certainly doesn't live here anymore.
What about his mother?
Emily? I've not met her. She never actually married into the Fellow family. Her relationship with Flint was, it was short-lived.
Oh shit. He's beautiful. Who, Pointer?
Hard to read, that one, but she seems to know what she's doing.
She's kind of mean.
You know, I simply assumed
Well.
all detectives were sharp, rigorous, and thorough. Then, of course, I met you.
How mean, what the hell?
What kind of flower is that?
We're not sure. I think it might be the only one of its kind.
Primrose would know. My wife was a floriculturalist. Best in the field. That's a flower joke, but she was.
Interesting.
I thought she was a musician.
Well now, that is most definitely none of my business. Quite possibly none of yours either.
He is beautiful. No fits? Okay.
What's this?
I thought you meant Pointer.
It looks like it might be a telescope. Thought you might know something about it.
Well, it certainly is a telescope. It has a part there to screw onto a tripod, you see. It's rather small, though. I'm not sure you could see many stars with it.
No, probably not.
Fitz seems rather keen to grow things like this in his greenhouse, doesn't he?
What's wrong with that?
Well, you can't eat it. Makes you wonder why he bothers at all. Oh, you found a murder weapon?
Steady on. It's just a gardening trowel.
Looks like a weapon to me. I think you may wish to adjust your threshold of what you consider to be a clue. I've seen those earmuffs before. They're the ones Fitz always wears when he's out the front gardening.
Always wears?
Whenever I've seen him, yes.
Oh shit. So Fitz never wants to talk to him. Damn.
What's this? Is it a clue?
We don't actually know. But Grimoire picked it up, so now he has to pretend it is.
That's how it works.
Okay. We haven't. Have we asked him? No. Did we? Okay, wait. Sorry, guys. I'm just a little confused. It's a little too much. Did we show her everything? Yes. And her question mark?
I'll say this. He's well suited to physical labor.
That's a nice way to put it.
Fitz spends most of his time alone in the greenhouse. But I heard he's been breeding experimental flowers. In secret.
Whoa, scandal.
I just wonder if he's getting restless.
We asked everyone about everything.
Is that fruit?
Too shiny to be fruit. I think it's glowing a little too.
Safe to eat, do you think?
I'm gonna say no.
I do not know what to do now. Do we have to maybe look in Penny's room? Because we found the thing there?
Looks like nature invited itself in. Rude. Now it's a big glass tube filled with water.
There are weeds in there.
It's an aquarium?
Could be. Except there's nothing living in it anymore.
It's not locked.
A
door.
Oh, what's behind it?
A room.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest and say I'm stuck. Like, I don't know what to do now. I mean, Fitz said we should look at the crime scene again, so...
The whole room has a strange feeling about it.
Yeah, there might be a reason for that. It's so dark back there.
Somehow, the sunlight doesn't seem to be making it very far into the room. The whole room has a strange feeling about it.
Yeah, there might be a reason for that.
Freya's painting supplies.
We already got that, yeah.
A bunch of old books. Covered in dust now, but they look well read.
I'm lost. I'm confused.
The whole room has a strange...
Yeah, there might be a reason for that.
The whole room has a
Yeah,
strange...
there might be a reason for that.
The outline of Freya... There's a single... No real...
That's weird.
What?
Her feet were right up by the canvas, so she was probably...
Use file again. There it is. The
So...
I don't even, like, know what to do. The couple needs to talk. Yeah, they need to talk it out. Okay, now let's talk real quick.
We know a little more about the crime scene now. So, what do you think? Was Freya stabbed by her own painting?
I thought we already did this one. Did we not? Look at the blood in the case file. How do I get out of here?
Blood from the paint pot was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife.
I think you're right. Can't decide if I'm disappointed or relieved.
I have a question. Why?
Either it's a very strange coincidence, or somebody set it up.
Somebody deliberately put blood in the paint pot and hid that feather after the crime. Why? To distract us?
Possibly.
Well, it worked.
Possibly.
Flora's the only person who could have hidden the feather, unless someone took it from her.
Let's go over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time. It stayed locked until Fitz kicked it down. Normally, it can only be opened from the inside. Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope, but he did see Flora lying by the window.
So whatever got Freya got Flora too?
Except Flora survived. She didn't get a stab wound like Freya did.
Hold on. If there was no knife, then what did stab Freya?
It could be anything. It might not even be important.
How is it not important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what, and more interested
in the how.
The angle of Freya's wound suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle. That is, from directly in front of her. But she was standing right up by the canvas.
Somehow, Freya ended up lying on her back, still perfectly in line with a painting.
Maybe something went through it.
Through the painting? Wouldn't that leave a hole?
Okay, well, how about this? How do we know Freya was stabbed before she fell over? Maybe her being stabbed and her falling over are completely unrelated.
Look at the blood in the case file, or lack of blood. Lack of blood. Okay. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Oh no, there is blood. You just can't see it very well because of the shading. But there is the blood. Back to the attic. Yeah, I don't...
What is that?
Not sure.
Looks like it might attach to something.
Might attach to something. I don't know.
Where's that light coming from?
That's just daylight. There's a decent gap. Is that what I think it is?
Yeah, so basically...
Is that what I...
Yes. So someone definitely murdered her from the top. Get a gun.
The attic's directly above us.
Yeah.
The attic's
Oh, come on, man.
Half the room is
I don't know if you can call the sudden absence of wall. A bunch of old books covered in dust now, but they look well. A bunch of old books covered in dust now, but they look well. It's so dark back.
Somehow the sunlight doesn't... Half the room.
I don't know if you can call the sudden absence of wall.
Alright, let me see real quick.
Every astronomy.
I want to try. It's that little plant Flora keeps on the window ledge.
Don't you think it would fall off in the wind?
Maybe it's glued down.
But where's the second one
I
then?
can see the doorway. The door itself is on the floor. You can see right into
Not by
I
accident.
can see Flora, but behind her is the backside. I can't really see.
We've already heard all of that yesterday. And there's the attic. There's a thingy.
Isn't this supposed to be an astronomy?
I can't move it. I think this is just how it's set up.
And the roof beam? Oh no, I'm wrong. Chocolate girl has an egg. Everyone here has an egg. I don't know what I have to do.
My little writing desk.
There's nothing written in the book.
Actually, I haven't been here in a while. Let me see.
I'm still not sure about this thing.
Should we take another look?
This... No, it...
Let's come back later.
Can't be solved now. I don't know what I have to do. I'm so lost. One more music thingy. Yeah, the last one is a mouth, but I don't know whose mouth, or like... I do not understand. Someone singing, the symbol of a mouth. Yeah, but nobody here sings, that's the problem. Didn't he say we should look at something again? I remember he was looking at something and then was like, ooh, you better look at it again.
Who gave you that information?
Well...
We don't actually know who it was. We were contacted anonymously.
I see. And what happens if the person who contacted you turns out to be the murderer?
I never thought about that.
Honestly, that would be kind of fun. Like a twist, you know?
Does anyone remember which one it was? Oh, it was
There's
this one.
Something off about this.
What is it?
Why don't you take another look at Flora's room?
You think we missed a clue up there?
Not exactly.
Okay, so it was the paint. It was the paint. Something about the paint. Oh god, he looks evil in the background. He does. Glowy purple eyes. What about the snores of the old dude? Oh, when he sleeps?
Supposedly, Freya was working on the painting when she was killed. Looks like she was still holding her paintbrush and palette when she fell.
Didn't even get a chance to clean her brush.
He said something was weird about this.
There it is. The unfinished
So-
looks that way.
Okay, I'm honestly lost. I think I'm gonna have to look up what I have to do now, because I do not know.
The whole room has a strange feeling about it.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, there might be a reason for that.
I need a hint. Did we hear some kind of melody while in Flora's tower? Did we? Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Did we? Strange. This is Flora, right? Like, I'm not being dumb. Kept inside her. Inside the egg. Strange melody from the tower. Is she like humming a strange? Can you play it to the noise thing from Freya? Can it be played in reverse? Maybe. Let's see. Okay, apparently not.
Half the room.
I don't know if you can call
more
it the
like-
sudden absence of wall.
I don't know, did we? We should search Freya's room? Did I miss something?
Freya's plants. They must not need sunlight? It's a little glass box.
I think it's a vivarium.
Come again?
See the leaves and twigs in there? Might have been for keeping insects.
That's weird.
What did you find in the drawer?
Nothing.
They're completely empty. Oh my gosh.
Drawings.
What's that one on the left?
Looks like two people. One of them's holding a red rose.
Oh my god, we missed something. You're right. A drawing of Poppy and Fitz standing in a garden. Fitz is holding a red rose. A drawing of Fifi. A drawing of Detective Hawkshaw. Uh-oh.
There's something about those petals we found in Penny's room. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
Let's go now. Oof. Let's ask her. Penny.
So, yeah, we found this.
Oh, that's nothing.
You wrote, "Now I'll get her," on a piece of paper and hid it in your room. That's not nothing.
Actually, it's not the message I wanted to ask about. It's those red flower petals.
The petals.
They're from Red Roses.
They're from red roses. And there's only one place in Tangle Tower with red roses.
We need a clue. Something that shows the roses. And who they belong to.
Where's the thing? Like this?
It's a drawing of Fitz and Poppy in the rooftop garden. See what Fitz is holding?
I can't imagine what you're getting at. But it doesn't matter. I couldn't have taken anything from the rooftop garden. It's only accessible from Fitz's room or Poppy's room. How could I have taken something from a garden to which I have no access?
Is it really only accessible from those two bedrooms?
For most people, it would be. But don't forget, Penny's the resident ornithologist.
My dears, what are you accusing me of?
One of Penny's birds was used to spy on Poppy and Fitz. But it didn't work?
One of Penny's birds was used to almost... maybe just...
And distract them?
One of Penny's birds...
No.
Almost... maybe... One of Penny's birds was used to spy on Poppy and Fitz and steal evidence from them. We know those two have been spending time together in the rooftop garden. I'm guessing you got paranoid. Wanted to know what they were up to.
I'm just not the jealous type. I would never suspect Fitz of anything like that. Besides, Tabitha hardly ever leaves her cage. She's certainly never flown up to the rooftop garden.
We need a clue to compare with Penny's birds. Something to prove one of them has been in the rooftop garden.
The feathers.
Let's take a closer look at these.
Hell yeah. This yellow feather was left behind by Penny's yellow bird.
This yellow feather was left behind by...
Now she has
Penny's
proof
yellow
of an
bird
affair. Oh
when
my
it
god, if
visited
it
the
turns out that
rooftop
they
garden.
are cheating on her, oh my god. I will never forgive
I
Poppy.
can't stand it! Knowing the two of them are hidden away up there in their private little garden. I couldn't risk spying on them myself, so I asked dear Tabitha to do it for me. I knew she'd be able to bring me back some evidence.
Sorry, Penny, but are you not overreacting a little?
You don't understand. Fitz is slipping away from me. He's so quiet with me these days. But being with Poppy seems to bring him out of his shell. I don't know what he sees in her miserable little...
Okay, bye Meg. Thank you for hanging out.
I apologize. This really isn't your burden to bear.
Aww. The birds called her. Hey Meg, bye Meg. Aww. Okay, let's see if they have anything to say to that.
Hey, that's me. Not a bad likeness.
It looks like you're standing in a rose bush.
Is there something wrong with that?
Well, not really, no. He's so creepy.
Fitz, one of these drawings is of you in the rooftop garden, I think, with Poppy.
Mm-hmm. Are we done?
I can't tell if he is, or if they're really just friends and nothing's going on. She angry and that's a valid vibe. I would be too.
There is a drawing of me. A drawing of Detective Hawkshaw. And a drawing of Poppy and Fitz.
The way she stuttered, she was like, what the fuck? Are you nervous for tomorrow? What's tomorrow? Am I missing something?
When did Freya draw the picture of you, Hawkshaw?
I didn't model for her, if that's what you're asking. She must have done it without my permission.
Could just be from memory. It's not quite as detailed as the others anyway.
Do I show the others too? Nick, I'm sorry. What's going on tomorrow?
These were drawn by Freya. She must have drawn that one of Hawkshaw rather recently.
I guess.
Those little emotes are cute. Did someone give you amnesia? Did someone do that? I don't think so. I don't know. Of course she doesn't talk. What a surprise. I haven't checked my Steam. Oh wait, wrong.
Freya was quite the talent. She had a way of capturing the spirits of her subjects. Not in an evil way, in a good way.
In a good way, of course, of course. Oh wait, we already asked her about that, never mind. Actually, get out. I just want to check if...
That painting is really...
Why would you want to...
Maybe Freya enjoyed the
atmosphere of...
Hang on, there's a smaller version down
It's
by...
a photograph.
Okay, and once again, I don't know what to do.
Why build a house here anyway?
I'm sure they had their reasons.
Do your paintings capture the spirit of people in an evil way or a good way? Who knows? Gonna have to ask the spirits. Where's the singing? I know, right? So it keeps saying that's in Flora's tower. But I can't hear it, so I am... Did we hear some kind of melody while in Flora's tower? Did we? Do we? Can't use the thing with the tape player. No, we can't. We already tried.
The whole room is...
Yeah, there might be a reason for that.
Does Flora sing? I don't know. Does she? I think she does now. Okay, wait. What's her name? Flora. Flora's Tower Melody. Okay, let me see real quick.
someone humming a tune.
Oh my god. You guys were right.
That's all 4 melodies, I think.
So, what do we do with them?
Should we go back to the gardens again?
Yes. We don't have anything left to do, I think.
Let's try this again.
Hell yeah.
You know, I think we might be able to solve this now.
Many brains better than one. Exactly. Okay, so this, this, this.
That's gotta be right.
Nothing. Maybe it's broken.
Wait, do you hear that?
What the fuck?
Where do you think it goes?
Down.
What the what? Underneath. Oh my god. What the fuck? Bugs. Oh my god, is Freya alive?
Forensic Entomology, Volume 3.
That's an incredibly specific area of study. It looks like they're being boiled, but the liquid is ice cold. A candle, perched on a barrel.
Very medieval.
I was thinking pirates.
Medieval pirates.
This is very spooky.
Chemistry apparatus. A cracked glass tank with 9 little rooms. Each one has 1 or 2 insects inside. I can't tell if they're still alive.
I like that you called them rooms.
What's in there?
Oh?
9 beetles. All different, all dead.
Poor little guys.
There's a bunch of notes written all around them. It's mostly numbers. No idea what they mean. 9 beetles.
Ah,
There's
okay.
it's mostly numbers.
It's the same thing? Is this different?
It's a little diagram of a beetle with some incomprehensible notes scribbled next to it.
That's weird.
What?
It looks really normal compared to the beetles behind the glass.
Huh.
Rows of plants, growing in wide wooden boxes.
The beetle must be there.
What color is the soil?
It looks black, but it's too dark to tell.
Do you really think Freya maybe really stole it and has been experimenting here?
Is it locked?
Seems likely, doesn't it? Weird looking safe.
I'm pretty sure the latches can slide into the middle.
Diagonally slide it in the correct position. Oh. Interesting. Okay, okay. Dun, dun. Okay, so dun dun dun. Like this, I guess. Mhm. Dun, 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 dun. Like this. Let's go down. Let's get down to business.
That's the one.
Ah,
Hey,
period.
not bad.
She could be working with Fitz to make the shiny fruits and bugs. Maybe.
Anything inside?
Yeah, more research.
A folder containing research notes and diagrams. Our unique flora and fauna is the byproduct of a number of as yet unidentified chemicals. These chemicals are continually present in this water. Ooh, so the lake. Oh. Are the most affected, however. And birds and reptiles, as far as we know, mammals remain completely unaffected. That is very interesting.
Whose research is this? This is some seriously in-depth research.
It's impressive, but it's incomplete. There's a section missing.
This one, because the fourth one. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So, this is Pointer's secret lab.
Definitely seems like he's the one using it.
I guess not a lot of people know about the secret entrance.
Right. But if Pointer's the only one who comes down here, why would he need to lock his research in a safe? Who's he hiding it from?
He's just paranoid, especially about his golden beetle.
What do you think he's trying to do exactly?
Oh, so they're saying it's Pointer's? I thought it was Freya's. Why is there so much research on this beetle and why is it hidden? Pointer was trying to hide from Freya?
Pointer was hiding from Freya in the underground laboratory. Nope.
Pointer has been trying to breed the golden beetle?
Pointer has been trying to breed the golden beetle in the underground laboratory.
Why? Because it's rare?
Because it's gold?
Is that it?
I think so. I don't think he cares about entomology any more than he cares about astronomy. He just wants to get one over on Felix. If he can breed his own gold, suddenly Poppy's inheritance is looking pretty,
Infinite. Might explain why he was so worried about losing the beetle. Maybe somebody did steal it.
Might have been Freya after all. We know she was trying to get through the secret door in the garden.
She might not have known what was down here, though. Maybe she was just curious.
Curious, sure, but not naive. I reckon she knew what was going on.
I think we're still missing the bigger picture. There's no way this is all just about a beetle. We're done.
Ready to go down? Again?
A glass tank? It's full of plants.
There's a layer of condensation on the inside. It's a hatch.
But we're already in the basement.
Unless...
Depends on your perspective.
Oh shit, it goes even further down. How much more does this go down? What the hell?
It's an old coat rack. Looks thoroughly neglected.
2 cloaks, and a green hat draped on top for good measure. Gives off kind of a dungeon vibe.
What do people actually use chains for?
Nothing good.
Basements don't normally have windows?
We're at the bottom of the lake. It must be.
Right. But if that's the lake bed, why does it look like that?
Like what?
White, smooth, no plants, no anything. That's not what a lake looks like.
Where are we?
Wait, before we
A
talk to
single
her.
book on a little makeshift table.
This is creeping me out slightly.
Oh no, so you've wrapped around and ended up at the top of a tower in Notre Dame. It's a wormhole. Does the thingy go there? It's the pond. I think it's the lake surrounding the island.
Why?
I think it's a children's book.
Mists of the Sea and Sky, a children's picture book. It looks very old. The ink tip, an elegant bird with red and white plumage. The silver snake, an aquatic reptile with no eyes and a long tongue. The soul bearer, a crab with 3 different sized claws. The amphibie, frog-like creature walking on 2 legs. So that's the thing that we see walking around constant, like in the garden and stuff. The statues. That's the favorite bird. What is this?
We're too late. This photograph has been stabbed.
Why? By what?
Not sure. Some kind of metal stabbing thingy.
Wow. A sleek but sturdy metal rod. It has been stabbed into a photograph. The rod has like an arrow or the hand of a clock. It has a small red rope. The metal is perfectly clean and polished. Is this some... Wait. Red rope. So like those two are connected?
So what's the photo?
It's been framed, but it's slightly damp. The photograph shows a young girl, a large man is sitting next to her. Around them are several red and white birds. A metal object was stabbed into the photo, leaving a hole near the man's heart. So that's Flora. The string thingy. Yes, the string. It was cut off from the thingy. I guess so.
Do you know who it is in the photo?
Okay, let's talk to her. The lake.
Did you notice how much light this room has? For a room with 1 candle?
It's all coming through the window.
I'm pretty sure lakes are supposed to be darker at the bottom, not lighter.
Why is there a room down here anyway? And why is it so much older than the rest of Tangle Tower?
We still don't really know why people came to live here in the first place.
Maybe they just wanted to get rich, like Pointer with his beetles.
I feel like the Remingtons came here for the lake, for what was in it.
It's empty, though. More empty than a normal lake would be.
It is now, yeah. Maybe we're too late.
This man in the photo, he reminds me of something from one of our clues.
Does he? Oh, he looks like this guy. This thing.
Felix made a little model of him for Flora.
Yeah, it makes sense when you know who he is.
Oh fuck, what's her name? Flora Fellow? Remington.
Lord Remington.
Remington. That makes him Flora's father. Meaning the girl in the photo is...
Yeah, it's her. See the bird, too.
I never would have guessed. Times sure do change.
I don't know. I don't think she looks so different. There's a roll of paper up there.
I'll see if I can reach it.
Let me guess. Blank.
Oh.
Misted Mansion. North side cross-section. Is it not Tangle Tower?
Tangle Tower. Before the towers?
The library where Fifi lives. The Grand Hall. The music room where Poppy lives now. The aviary. Bedroom. Penny's room. Poppy's room. And then the 2 towers built on top. This was... Huh.
Study. Wait.
I know what you're thinking. And no, we never went in there.
How did we miss it? A bedroom.
That's Fifi's room, isn't it? A bedroom.
Penny's room, I think.
The library.
Storage.
It's Freya's room.
Music room.
The Grand Hall.
What's that thing in the middle?
I think it's that big glass tube. The Grand Hall.
What's that?
I think it's that big glass. The Grand Hall.
What's that?
Okay,
I
no,
think it's that.
that's not what I want.
It's the aviary. The rooftop garden. Well, that name makes a little more sense in this context. The rooftop garden. Well, that name makes a
Wait,
little more
no,
sense.
what's... Okay, so this is...
It's the room above us. The one we were just in.
The laboratory?
Yeah.
That's the room we're in now. It must be. It's not labeled as anything on these plans, though.
I think it already existed when this was made.
And that's the lake, right? I think that horizontal line might be the water level.
It used to be a lot lower down than it is now.
So it went up, huh?
So, the whole house is built on top of some kind of platform.
Apparently. This seems pretty significant.
Agreed.
A room level studies in the center. We haven't... How do we get there? I haven't seen any doors.
Let's head back up to the Grand Hall. I want to find that last room.
Yeah.
Wow, it's dark all of a sudden.
How long were we down there?
Oh, never mind.
This must be it. This thing goes all the way up.
How are we supposed to get up there?
Hang
Ow.
on, it's pitch black, but I think there's a switch.
Let's
ladder.
go.
Want to go up?
Yes, let's go. That scared me. The hidden heart. What the fuck?
Is that a crab?
It's got a translucent exoskeleton. You can actually see its insides.
Ew.
Also, crabs normally have 2 claws, right? Not 3?
3.
Ugh.
Grimoire, don't you think it looks familiar?
Oh, it's like the...
Perfect. What's this?
Something somebody didn't want us to find.
A crossbow.
What is it?
2 more clues? Wait, let's find the clues then.
Some kind of fish and a bird skull, I guess?
If that's a bird skull, we're talking about a 15-foot bird here.
Well, how about we stop talking about it? Some kind of fish and...
That's
well,
Oh,
how
wait.
about we stop talking? Dragon?
Snake?
Worm?
That's the one.
Who are all the people in this photo?
Not sure, but it looks like someone didn't like them very much. Their eyes have all been crossed out.
Oh shit. The ambassadors of Misted Mansion. 2 women and 3 men bearing have had their faces crudely covered with black ink.
That photo is important. I'm sure of it.
Okay.
Do those look like scratch marks to you? On the glass?
Yeah. They're on the inside.
Oh, that's creepy.
It's a wooden pinboard, hung up on one of the chains.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it.
Wait.
It's a wooden pinboard.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it.
Okay. Never mind then, I guess.
Nice chair.
It's still warm.
Maybe it's just heat from the incinerator.
Maybe. Coffee table, half-empty wine bottle, lamp left on. I'm gonna say someone's been using this room.
Someone complacent enough to leave their notebook lying around.
Several pages have been ripped out, but a few remain. Fifth ambassador located finally. Can't say I harbored any optimism, but still somehow disappointed. No better than the rest of them. Took my misted friend into the music room for experiments. It works, perhaps too well. The laboratory was another disappointment. All that effort for what? He's even more short-sighted than I could have guessed. Went to the bottom. Nice view. It's been mostly cleaned out, but I have what I need. She got in. She was careful. Nothing was moved, but I know. It's time. What the fuck is going on? Germ! Hey, Germ. We're almost at the end, I think. We're like solving the puzzle slowly. This game went from 0 to 100 real fast. It really did.
You know, in any normal room, this thing would be my main concern.
The drawing of Hawkshaw goes there? Yes,
In
it
here,
does.
Though, it barely makes the top 3. An incinerator built into the wall. It's still pretty hot.
Is there anything left inside?
It's mostly ashes. But yeah, there's something.
Oh? Oh no! The feather! Red colored. Oh.
Someone's been using this room.
Okay, let's talk to her now. A weapon.
Was someone trying to hide it? From us?
I don't know, but it looks incomplete to me. I want to know what happened to the rest of it. Where are the other parts?
We found
We
them.
found them already.
So in here goes this thing. No, not this. This thing. Yeah.
What do you make of it?
Not sure. Let's keep an open mind.
You don't think the crossbow is the murder weapon?
Oh no, the crossbow is definitely the murder weapon. But that doesn't mean we've solved the mystery.
Graham, how are you? You back from your pumpkin patch?
Another photograph.
Their faces are all crossed out with some kind of black ink.
That's weird.
Oh, you think so?
No, I mean, something I just realized. Sally, did we meet any of these people here at Tangle Tower?
Well, the woman on the left looks a little like Poppy, but her style is way different. And at first I thought the guy on the top right was Felix, but now that I look at it, I don't think it is him.
I don't get it. This room is in the original building plans for the mansion, but nowadays it's some big secret?
It's not a secret to everybody. At least one other person still knows about this room.
The way the notebook was left out on the table makes me think it's someone who has the room all to themselves.
Whoever it was, they left more than just the notebook. There's a whole design project on this pinboard. Feels like someone put quite a bit of effort into it.
It's a shame there are things missing from it. Now, I'm betting it'd make more sense if we could see it all together.
That might not be impossible, you know.
After all, we have it. Yes. And here, this thing?
The painting from Freya's room and those sketches. Did Freya design Detective Hawkshaw's clothes? What kind of sense does that make?
I don't think that's why Freya made that painting, but it may have been why somebody took a photo of it to use as reference. And as for those sketches of Hawkshaw, I don't think Freya actually drew them. It was somebody else. Someone with less of a talent for art.
Doesn't exactly narrow it down. Should we go ask Detective Hawkshaw about all this?
I'm not sure. I still don't know what's really going on.
Hawkshaw admitted the telescope was hers. I know. The murder. Oh shit.
Time to solve this.
Oof. Okay.
All right. Break out the notebook. Time to put it all together.
Let's start with this. It's an arrow for the crossbow, and it matches Freya's wound. It's the murder weapon. I'm sure of it.
Despite the fact it doesn't have any blood on it, and it wasn't found anywhere near the crime scene.
Mm-hmm. It was cleaned, then it was hidden. I don't think anybody expected us to get down to that room at the bottom of the lake.
Okay, so Freya was shot by a crossbow. Where was it fired from?
Above, from the attic.
It was fired from above Freya.
Above, huh?
Yeah, our diagram doesn't show everything. Let's add in the rest of the crime scene.
The attic.
Perfect hiding place. We even found a part of the murder weapon up there. The reel was used to pull the arrow back up through the crack in the floorboards.
Explains why we never found a weapon at the crime scene, I guess.
The murderer must have dropped the reel in the attic. I'm guessing they were in a hurry to escape.
Wait. The arrow was fired through the crack in the floorboards?
Yeah, it's directly above where Freya was found lying on her back.
Nope. Doesn't add up. It would have missed her if she was still standing up by the painting.
Ah, right.
Unless... Freya was already lying on her back before the arrow was fired.
I think so too.
I don't think she was already dead, because otherwise we would have already seen blood on her, even before this happened. Relaxing? I don't think so, because she was also unconscious. So I think something happened that made both of them unconscious.
She'd fallen unconscious.
Something in the room caused Freya to fall unconscious.
Paint fumes? I mean, no, because she always draws. Flora doesn't make a lot of sense because both were unconscious. Unless she was faking it and she did actually kill her. The gramophone.
The gramophone.
Right.
But the gramophone by itself can't do that.
There's... Oh!
There was something in the gramophone.
Mm-hmm. Something small.
Because, the statue in Poppy's music room had, the broken glass. So I think something was in there, too, that, made such a noise that it broke the glass. So I think the same thing was in the gramophone. And it just made them unconscious. The question is, what the fuck was hiding there? What was hiding there? Is it something small? The beetle? It escaped and was in the gramophone?
Pointer's research says it can emit an incredibly loud hiss when it feels threatened.
Oh.
Poppy and Fitz both said they heard a loud noise around the time of the murder. Neither of them had any idea what it was.
This seems a little far-fetched. Is it really loud enough to knock someone out?
No, I don't think so, not by itself. But don't forget, it was being amplified by the shape of the gramophone. Now, I don't think we're purely talking about volume either. It might just be a particular type of frequency.
This is getting kinda scientific. Since when do you know anything about the effects of weaponized audio frequency?
I don't, but I think someone else does. Do you remember that statue we found in the music room? The hornet's playing.
Yes!
It's a pretty similar shape to the one on the gramophone. That broken glass isn't there on accident. This is someone's science experiment.
Thinking about it, Pointer said he saw Flora was knocked out too. I guess they were both in range of the noise, although Pointer might have been lying.
Personally, I think he was telling the truth about that. It's pretty clear a powerful frequency did pass through Flora's tower. Caused quite a bit of damage too.
Germ, love how Sally thick in 3 different places. We love a thick girl. What was affected by the powerful frequency? The gramophone itself? Because, like, the crack?
Those cracks didn't appear out of nowhere. Freya's paints, the pink cassette tape, and the gramophone itself, they all sustained similar damage while they were in that room.
That's some seriously powerful vibration. Enough to crack metal. Enough to knock someone out all the way across a room.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't get. If the frequency was so powerful and had such a big range, how did the murderer pull it off? Wouldn't they have been in range too? Think about it. They can't have been much further away from the gramophone than Flora was.
They protected themselves.
How?
With the earmuffs. Yes.
These are some pretty heavy-duty earmuffs. I think they'd be enough to block out the sound.
Right. Let's go over everything from the start. 1. Freya is painting Flora's portrait. They're listening to music on the gramophone.
2. The murderer is hiding in the attic, wearing earmuffs.
3. The golden beetle starts to emit its hissing noise.
Hold on. How did it know?
The beetle?
Yeah. What triggered it at that particular moment? Pointer's research said it makes the noise when it feels threatened.
I'm not sure. Maybe something in the music?
Maybe.
4. Freya and Flora are both knocked unconscious by the vibrations. Freya lands on her back. She drops the brush and palette by her side.
5. The murderer fires the crossbow directly downwards.
6. The arrow is pulled back up on the reel.
7. The murderer leaves the attic, presumably.
8. The door is kicked down. Fitz and Poppy enter the room.
That's it.
Holy shit. I'm cutting in and out of the stream. Ah, the humming? Girl, I love the emote.
There's something bothering me.
What?
I just want to check something. Let's go back to the crime scene.
Why is it red? Who do you think the murderer is? Because, like, we got all the things together on how she died, but we don't know who.
The answer is in the painting. I'm sure of it.
Freya was unable to finish a painting as she died.
The plant. It's in the book.
What?
Look.
It's the seeds of the tantum amica. So this thing. Okay.
I can see the stars.
No, we have that. Here's the gramophone. Where did Flora go? I mean, it is night, so I just presume they went to sleep.
The answer is in the painting. I'm sure of it.
Here's one flower. Where's the second flower? So here's one flower. Where's the...
I can see the stars.
And it's dark. And it's dark.
I can see the stars.
Okay.
I can see the
Good
stars.
for you, good for you, good for you.
I can see the stars. The plant, it's in the book.
What?
Look.
Okay, that's not it either.
Freya, did you leave us a clue?
What happened? The missing clue.
So what's bothering you?
Something that's not here. The thing we didn't find. We know she was holding it during the painting.
Flora's ink dip feather?
It was here. In this room. Where'd it go?
We found it somewhere else.
We found it in the ashes, in the burnt items.
We were a little too late to save it.
So it was stolen from the crime scene. And ended up in the incinerator down in the study.
Someone wanted to destroy it, I guess.
But how? How was it stolen from up here in Flora's tower?
Presumably, Flora dropped it when she fell unconscious.
Yeah, and then what? The murderer couldn't have stolen it if they were up in the attic.
So the question is, how could they steal something from a room they weren't able to access? The final clue about the crime scene. Freya left it for us right here.
Maybe it's in the painting.
The unfinished painting. It's not quite a photo, but still, it's an image of the crime scene recorded just before the murder. If only she'd finished.
Is it just one person? I don't know. Maybe it's more people.
It's true she never finished it. But she did intend to finish it.
Meaning?
We know more about the painting.
What was the
Freya
trigger?
actually got
We don't
down
know
on
what the trigger
canvas.
was. I don't think so. If she said it, then I don't remember. How did Freya show us her intentions for the painting? Because of the colors?
Freya prepared all the colors she was going to need before she started painting.
I don't know. Wait, because the yellow paint hasn't been used and that has been bothering me. The yellow paint was a mistake by Freya because the sketch of something... isn't actually became... Okay, no, wait, this is wrong. The yellow paint was a mistake. Isn't going to be used to paint this sketch of something sitting.
The yellow paint was going to be used to paint the sketch of something sitting in the window.
Something in the window.
Oops.
Oh.
What? Something yellow in the window floor. Something yellow. Oh my god, was it one of the birds?
There she is. Our little thief.
How long has it been there? Did it hear the whole conversation?
She did. But she's a very good listener.
What the fuck? Hawkshaw?
Well now, I think this has quite served its purpose, don't you?
What?
Penny, why did you...
It's Penelope, if you don't mind. But before we begin, isn't there a certain formality demanding our attention? Lovely. Now, tell me, what was it that drove you this far? I'm ever so curious.
Justice. For Freya.
Is that right? Interesting.
Why did you do it, Penny? What did Freya do to you?
Absolutely nothing.
So, what? You just hated her indiscriminately?
Freya Fellow was an inspiration to us all. She was possessed of a great energy, the volition to create something from nothing, the willpower to walk beyond her boundaries. She was truly free. Everything I couldn't be.
You know what? I just realized I actually have no idea who Penelope Pointer really is.
Weird, isn't it? Considering we've met her, 3 times now?
Exactly. How do we know this one isn't a disguise too?
You think you've already hollowed us out, don't you? Only a few short hours at Tangle Tower, and you feel like you've got everyone sussed. Unearthed every single one of our secrets. Nothing but bullet points for your notebook.
Why is it
Go
Penny?
on, indulge me. What does it say in your notes about Penelope Pointer?
She's lonely. No, I think it's not lonely. It's she wants to travel, but she stays behind because of Fitz. She's a murderer. I honestly don't think that she would kill. Like, I honestly think that Freya must have found something out and she was like, oh shit. She's a mystery? No. Which one should I pick? You guys decide. My net be stinky. Aw, Leslie. Can't choose. Neither can I. I'm gonna go with lonely.
Suppose I can't argue with that, can I?
Penny, we only know what you choose to tell us, so why not help us out?
Very well. Penelope Pointer is actually not very important at all. She pales in comparison to those who came before her and to those that came after. Living at Tangle Tower, it is very difficult to attain the levels of self-realization you probably take for granted.
You sure this is a Tangle Tower thing and not a you thing?
Perhaps you didn't notice. Not one of them is happy, not one.
So why stay? Why not just leave?
I thought she did leave. Penny, you said you traveled, didn't you?
I did. Many times I've walked away. It did not help me. You saw the family tree hanging in the grand hall, did you not?
Yeah, it lists a bunch of people who don't live here anymore.
A bunch of people who don't live here anymore. I couldn't have put it better myself. My mother, for one. My father, too. The other 2 Remingtons. Poppy's mother, Primrose. And her brother, Richard.
And Fitz's father.
That's 5. 5 people that might have lived here, but don't.
And that was the first question I wanted answered.
You wanted to know where they'd all gone?
More than that, I wanted to know if I belonged with them. I have no place here. Not among the Fellows, the Remingtons, or the Pointers. But I felt there must be a reason why everyone else left. Some common purpose they all shared. Perhaps it could be my purpose, too.
So, what did you actually do about it?
Nothing I could do, at first. Nobody would tell me anything. The more questions I asked, the fewer answers I got. Then, I found it. I was 19. Same age Freya is now.
Found what?
The study. The one hidden in the middle of the house. It's right next
Leslie,
to
no!
I'd hear voices at night. Deep ones. And the strangest thing, the wall behind my bed would get incredibly hot. For hours on end. The paint would peel. Wallpaper wouldn't stay up. I thought I was cursed. I thought it was something trying to break through. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. I found my way in the same way you did. Once you know it's there, it's simple.
So, you got into the study and found the incinerator. That must have been a relief, right?
It was still warm when I found it. Then, I looked inside. Let's see how thorough you've been. Tell me, do you know what a misted is?
Misted?
Mistids? Sure, yeah.
You're more observant than I thought.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
It's a collective term from before my time. Birds, insects, amphibians, anything living off the lake water. The mutation can take several generations, or it can happen overnight.
Wait, mistids, like cryptids, like Bigfoot or whatever.
A little egregious, isn't it? I suspect that was an intentional parallel. The main difference being mistids are perfectly real. They're just kept secret. Or at least, that was the original plan. As it happened, some got out. Quite a few got out.
How do you know all this?
When I entered the study at 19, I found a single object that rather changed my life. Something which answered my questions while at once creating all new ones.
Something she found. That answer to like this?
That's not it.
The 5 missing family members standing together as a single unit, calling themselves the ambassadors of Misted Mansion.
So, the house was renamed from Misted Mansion to Tangle Tower?
And rightly so. The age of Misted Mansion is long past. When I looked inside the incinerator on my first visit to the study, I found nothing but ash. The afterimage of a bygone era, denied to me in its entirety. The study, the room at the bottom of the lake itself. All empty shells. I felt my only hope lay with the ambassadors. If I could find them, maybe they'd share the family history that Flora and the others were trying so hard to forget.
How did you track them down?
It was tough. They'd taken almost everything. Books, maps, charts. The creatures themselves, all lost. Taken away or destroyed. But I got lucky. I got a lead. I found one, and he led me to the rest.
And? What happened? Why'd you paint out all their faces?
They didn't help you either, did they?
19-year-old me had imagined they'd all left with a mission. A unified purpose. But they hadn't. They were, in fact, every bit as fractured as the people that still live here. Most of them had left tracking escaped mistids. Some claimed to be researchers, others little more than hunters. All 5 completely useless to me.
Even your own parents?
Eventually, I returned to Tangle Tower. I had nowhere else to go. I considered giving up. But instead, I made a decision.
Holy shit. Is Penny a misted? So as far as we know, mammals don't get affected by the lake, so no.
There was only one person at Tangle Tower still of interest to me. My dear Uncle Pointer had suddenly made a show of taking up astronomy. A fairly superficial charade. I don't think many people were fooled by it. But I knew it wasn't just a falsehood. It was a mask. Pointer had found something from the era of Misted Mansion.
I would say the golden beetle?
So where did he get the beetle?
I cannot be sure. But I theorize that he received it in the post.
In the post? From who?
Who can say? Someone outside Tangle Tower. But the thought that he would be in contact with such a person all that time decided to take what was owed to me.
So you stole it.
Stealing the beetle turned out to be only the first step. Upon realizing it was gone, Pointer made little effort to disguise his frustration. I asked what was bothering him. He foresaw no risk in sharing a little of the truth with his niece. He told me he'd lost a rare treasure, something he'd been keeping safe. I suggested, innocently, that perhaps it was not lost. Perhaps it had been stolen. He was very ready to believe he'd been the victim of theft. When I offered to call in a private detective, he jumped on the idea. She arrived the next day. Hawkshaw prides herself on her punctuality, as you know.
Why, though? Why go through all that? The name, the costume, and everything?
It's somewhat sad to admit, but I had a little use left for Penny Pointer as she was. Hawkshaw afforded me new advantages, opportunities.
But didn't you have to pretend to be working for Professor Pointer?
Well, that was one of the advantages. Pointer was in such a desperate state, he was finally willing to share some of his secrets. On the second day, Hawkshaw explained she needed to be able to search the secret laboratory. Pointer gave in and gave me the code for the harp statue. Reluctantly, but still.
So, you stole Pointer's research?
I would have done, if I'd found anything worth stealing. But he had made remarkably little progress, barely scratching the surface of the beetle's true mystery.
Which is?
She carries an exoskeleton approximately 90% identical to gold. But it's not the 90% I'm interested in. Did you ever question what exactly makes the water here so unique? Before Misted Mansion was built over the lake, before the lake was even a lake, Lord Remington and his wife built a small structure here, a research station, supposedly. Fast forward 2 or 3 generations, and as you saw for yourself, it's been mostly cleared out.
The ambassadors took everything when they left.
And everything they didn't take was burned in the incinerator. However, possessing additional insight, I found something the others had missed. It's not much, but I have what I need.
So, why isn't this the end of the story? Why did you stay? Why did you kill Freya?
Simply put, Freya was too good for me. It's my fault. I pushed her over the edge, unknowingly, but still, I take the blame.
What are you talking about?
Did you know I based the design for Hawkshaw on something Freya painted?
Oh, yeah.
That's right. I had assumed it was purely abstract. I just thought it had a good energy. I later discovered it was a figure of some kind, something from Freya's recurring nightmare. For all her vitality, I think Freya was probably the most troubled of all of us. She was desperate to leave Tangle Tower, but she couldn't just walk away. For quite some time, she'd been trying to break into Pointer's laboratory. Freya and her friends were halfway through deciphering those symbols on the harp statue, I believe.
Why did she care about getting into Pointer's lab?
That's exactly what I wondered. At first, I thought perhaps she just wanted to free the beetles. She has a fondness for them. What Pointer was doing upset her significantly. But in fact, I think it was something else. I think she wanted to free Fiona. The real reason Freya was unable to leave Tangle Tower is that she could not get Fiona to agree to come with her. We're now firmly in the realm of speculation, but I think Freya felt that exposing the darker secrets of Tangle Tower, not just to the rest of the family, but to the world, would compromise all 3 families, and perhaps, somehow, free Fiona from the shackles of her inheritance. That was her plan anyway, but something happened. before Freya could find her way into Pointer's laboratory.
She found her way into your study, found your notes, found that photograph. I'm willing to bet she put it all together quicker than we did.
So she worked out what had happened to the 5 ambassadors. Specifically, what you'd done to them when they refused to help you.
Freya had made a promise to paint Flora as a birthday gift, a parting gift no less. She'd be in a locked room, several hours away from her friends. It was my best chance.
But why hide in the attic? And why bother with the beetle at all?
The beetle in the gramophone wasn't for Freya. It was for Flora. She didn't deserve to be involved. She suffered enough.
Aww.
I couldn't get Flora out of the room, but if she could be unconscious, then she wouldn't have to witness anything.
Why the knife? The illusion of the painted knife with the blood.
That was for Fiona. And Poppy too, I suppose. Gave them something to focus on.
You mean it distracted them while you made your escape?
It helped them cope. The very idea of something abstract, something supernatural. I believe it made things marginally less painful for them, initially. Worked on you, too.
So why are you still here? Why not take your first chance and leave?
Well, I've been waiting for an opportunity to get my beetle back. I'd really rather not leave without it.
Wait, it's still here?
It's still inside the gramophone.
Oh no.
What's going on?
Poppy, they are both awake.
I can see.
You two all right?
My head hurts. What happened to us?
You were both unconscious. 14 minutes by my count.
Really?
You're both fine. No injuries.
Was it the beetle? In the gramophone? I heard it through the ceiling in my room.
The exact same sound we heard before the murder.
I guess it must have been.
So how did we get down here? What happened to Penny?
Fitz saved both of you, obviously.
When I reached Flora's tower, you were both unconscious, and Penny was crouched down beside you. She had her crossbow on her, but who knows? She may have just been checking you were both asleep.
Did you know that she was the murderer?
Poppy and Fifi suspected her. Apparently, they were pretty close to solving it themselves.
Fitz did not want to believe us, because he liked Penny. A lot.
But what happened? Fitz, what did she do when she saw you?
She jumped out the window.
What?
Did she survive?
She did.
I heard something land in the garden outside my room, but by the time I got out there to check, she was already gone.
Hang on. Poppy, why do you have Penny's hat bird?
She left him behind. I found him sitting on the floor in the aviary, all by himself. Poor little thing. The mean lady didn't care about you at all, did she? No, she didn't.
I apologize. Poppy seems to be under the illusion that the bird can understand human language.
So, Penny got away.
I'm afraid she did.
We had suspected she might try to escape. I was stationed here by the lake's edge. I proved to be an ineffective guard. She took the boat.
Did she take the beetle with her?
Nope.
How do you know?
Because it's right here.
It was still in the gramophone. I guess I scared her off before she had a chance to take it.
Poppy, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to give it back to your father?
No, I'm not. It doesn't belong to anyone. So, I'm going to put it on the ground and never bother it again. I think that's what she would have wanted.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This was amazing. She ran off, she did. That would have been so much better if we had punched her in the face. Yeah. It would have been. Oh my god. This is so much fun. There are a couple of questions that are left unanswered. So, for example, first of all, who sent the thing to Pointer? Who was it that actually sent him the beetle and everything? Then second, what was it? There were like so many unanswered questions that somehow still have not been answered. Art gallery. But it was definitely an amazing game. I hope they make I guess a third one, since there exists a first one. I really hope they make a third one. Oh my god. Wait, is that concept art of her? Oh my god, that's so cool. I think that's the style of the first game, if I remember correctly. Oh, that looks so cool. I just saw this. Wow. Oh, damn. Oh, her smiling is so cute. Oh, she looks so fucking creepy in these two, though. That's so cool. I love when they put stuff like that out. Even though he's stuck indoors. Oh, he looks completely different to now. I honestly like his designs right now the most. I don't think the others would have fitted his personality as much. Oh my god, that's so cool. Oh, holy shit, that's so cool. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to look up all the artists on social media and follow them afterwards. She's so... But what about Penelope? Penny turned out to be the murderer. Penny. Lesson learned. Apparently my taste in people is bad. I cannot trust with there's only murderers and cheaters, apparently. I mean, in the end, it turned out that he did love her and he didn't technically cheat, but I don't know. Maybe if they ever make another game, they would answer questions. Fan art when? Next stream. Maybe, if I have time. Oh my god, that looks so cool. What the hell? Who is this? Freya. Oh my god, so cute. Aww. Fitzfellow, the gardener. Ugh. Hunky. Wait, oops. Ah! Misclicked. What did it say here? Too creepy? Too creed? Why does it look like a birdhouse? Like the head? Oh shit, that would have looked so cool. Oh my god, that's so amazing. Oh my god. Sorry that I'm like fangirling about this, but this is very interesting to me. This is Penny Pointer, our murderer. That's so cool. Aw, such a cute drawing. Aw. He's so cute. Puppy. What the fuck? Holy shit, that's creepy. Ah, what's the did? Oh man, that was so cool. Who would you draw? I think I would draw all of them. Or at least I really want to draw Sally, Freya, Penny, and Poppy. Like, those are the ones I definitely want to draw. But I also want to draw Flora. I don't have much time at the moment. That's the only problem because university and commissions and stuff. But if I ever find the time, I definitely want to draw a bit of fan art about them. Of using loud noises and stuff, that it was going toward Fifi being the murderer. Oh my god, that would have... Jesus Christ. It would have been really sad because they were like best friends. Ugh. But Penny was an amazing actress. Because she always was like, oh, I'm on a completely different intellectual level than, you know, Fifi. And no, it's fine. I can deal with that. And she was playing this like... how do you say it without being so rude? In the most crude way, no thoughts, head empty kind of girl, like only birds and her fits. And then it turns out, oh shit, this murderer who planned everything and tried to pull one over Professor Pointer and stuff. It's amazing. Ditzy, yeah, she acted very ditzy, even though she was like actually very smart. This was amazing, honestly. Well. As much as this was fun, I do gotta go. Thank you everyone for being here. It was super fun. We should definitely do a lot more. We should definitely do a lot more games. Or at least puzzle games, murder mysteries. Those are so cool. I really wish this studio would make more. I really want to play more. Gonna sleep, it's 5 AM. Yeah, you better go to bed, Leslie. I'm also gonna go now. Thank you all for being here. You know what, I think I'm gonna rate an artist. Because I think I've had enough of games for tonight. I got a lot of friends who play nothing but puzzle story games. Those are the best kind of games, Alexia. I can book them for recommendations if you want. Yes, please. I do like puzzle games. Also, have you played Trauma? I don't think I have. The name does sound very familiar though. Germ, thank you for being here. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. Say hi to Fiu, or Nay, how she's known. She usually does a lot of art, but tonight she's streaming a game, I think. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. Also, Alexia, tell me about in Discord what's that game about, or if I should try it, if it's worth it. Well then, thank you everyone for being here. I'll see you whenever I stream next, I guess. Bye.